right, we are live at Georgetown Poker Club for GPC Live, Poker After Dark. I'm John Montgomery.
And I'm Kyle Thompson.
We are here tonight playing PLO 4, high only, that you get 4 cards, and you play 2, and you have to play 2, and you can only play 2. So, can you kind of explain what that means as far as like hitting a full house or a flush, Kyle?
Okay, so what this means, guys, is you will be having to play 2 of your whole cards. So if 3 of a kind comes on the board, you either want to have the 4th one of those, or you want to have a pocket pair if you want to have a full house. Meaning that you have to play 3 cards off of the community cards.
All right, and we are just about to get underway here.
The buy-in for this game was a minimum of 500 and a max of 3K. We do have several 3K stacks at the table. We'll do our best to keep track as those chips slide around, as it often happens in PLO. And the cards are out. We have 5-10 blinds. You players do have the option to straddle 25 under the gun. We'll start off a little mellow without one.
And I think they actually have the option of going 50 or even 100 after the second and third straddle.
Okay, so we're going to have the normal straddle rules in effect for you guys. We'll do our best to highlight some of the spots that come up that the average player might find intriguing. Do we have any sponsors we want to thank right now, John?
Yeah, big shout out to Poker Bros. They actually sponsored our table felts and our RFID cards, so we definitely appreciate all they've done and hopefully get some good exposure. Which also, if you want to play from home, you can download the app on your phone or your tablet. You can play from home, you can play in your car, you can play while you're at work if your boss doesn't know, but you never know. You can win some prizes.
I play all the time, no matter where I'm at. Looks like action's already getting going underway. We're almost around to the button. Bear with us, guys. We're having some technical difficulties trying to get these cards on the screen for you guys. Waiting to see what we'll get going here. Everyone seems to be good in spirits. All the chips are being shuffled. Got the hands up on the screen for you guys now. Take a look at the action proceeding right now. Got a couple good starting hands. We see Simmer Down's got a couple aces with suited clubs. We've got Dr. Abad with King Jack Jack 6. Not the great starting hands that you're hoping for to get some action from around here, but might be a little action from the Ace 10 of Hearts. Just when you're playing PLO, you really want your cards as close together and clumped as possible. Hands that work really well together are in really close proximity. Occasionally you'll have what we call a dangler, and that's a card that's away from the rest of the strength of your hand, such as Jack 10 9 2 or Jack 10 9 3. The 2 or 3 in that case would be your dangler, while the Jack 10 9 is actually a very strong holding. Hands that work well together will tend to have 4 cards that are close together. Ace King 9 is lacking a little on the 9. The 9 is almost a dangler in this situation, but still the strongest holding hand we've got in this hand presently right now. The flop comes out 9-5-2. That's not going to be much help for anybody. We've got a wheel draw for Aiden, and he steps out of the way, and the first hand is down. We'll be on to the next shortly. The chip count's flashing on the screen for you right now. We want to remind you here at Georgetown that coming up we have a monthly event. It is a bracelet event, and this month's is going to be a tag team. John, what's the next event going to be after the tag team?
January 8th, we're going to do a bracelet event. It will be a bounty event, which is actually my birthday weekend. So there will be a double bounty on me for my first entry and any other entries that I do after that. So.
Ooh, that sounds nice. So what day is your birthday?
My birthday is actually January 9th.
Okay, well, I'm the 23rd, so it's kind of a double birthday and double bounty.
No, there you go. Oh, cards are out again.
Once again, I'm not seeing too many super strong holdings here. I see the Ace-King 10-2, the Jack-10 8-8. Taking a look around, lots of these hands are just going flying into the muck. It seems that we're starting off a little conservative, whereas PLO tends to bring out a lot of players into the hands. We'll see what we have develop here.
Not much there. We got Ace King, did it fold? Pocket Queens and a Queen Jack suited.
It is going to be fun if Queen and a Jack flop, because the Ace-King 10 would then have a wrap. Let's see if we can get an exciting turn, as we do have the flop out of 9-6-3 Rainbow. The Jack-10 8-8 does pick up a gut shot. John, what kind of hands are you looking for after the flop when you're playing PLO?
After the flop, you want to already have a hand, but you also want to have a strong draw. So your hand can get better with every card that hits the board.
That's right. You want hands that are drawing to the nuts and not just some good hand. So we have Jack-10 8-8 that just turned the nut straight. He will still be fading the heart draw, coming from the Ace-King 10-2 from Dr. Abad.
Drew made it 150, and Dr. Abad made it also 150, or called the 150.
And look, we've got a Sammy Farha lookalike out there with a cigarette in his mouth, unlit, of course, we promise, guys.
Yeah, but there's no smoking here at Georgetown Poker Club. She did hit the nut flush there.
And it did pair the board, so we might not see that aggressive of a line here. The players are quite deep stacked.
Dr. Abad bet $100.
A six of the pot.
Drew laid it down.
He saw the warning sirens going off on that sizing right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely a bet to try to get a call.
All right, John, I've noticed that the staff has got really upgraded around here, around Georgetown. You know, maybe not from the original general manager, but, you know, there's a lot of improvements. Is there any employees you want to shout out right now that have been just doing an awesome job for you?
Yeah, all of our employees have just been kicking butt. We've been definitely trying to be more consistent with the stuff that we've been doing at the club. Our managers are working their butts off, and we definitely appreciate them.
Well, good stuff, guys. We got another hand getting peeled out here. We'll let you know if we see any strong holdings as the cards are getting peeked at.
Looks like we had a straddle this time, 25 to call.
Excellent. We may have a big pot here. We've got a lot of hands going out right now. As we discussed before, you want hands that are clumped together, so we do have a few that meet this criteria.
Brutus picks up 2 pair. Got Clayton that called 15 with the 9-9 from the big blind.
And we've got some sneaky hands in there. We've got the 7-6-4-4 of Dr. Abad, and we've got Charlie's Ace-5-3-2. So we've got some hands that are clumped and can cover certain portions of the deck. Of course, we've got middle set flopped immediately for one of the hands I didn't bring up.
We also have a low flush draw with Drew. And the ace hit. This could be interesting.
So we've got it down to the set and the ace now. Of course, if this was high-low, that deuce 3 would help out, but since it is not, they throw that hand away.
I think I need to go offer this table some beers. What do you think?
Yeah, let's get this action going. What's going on, guys? This is PLO. Usually you got to complain about how many people are in each pot to get it back civil.
I think it should be somebody already busted out by now, right? A rebot. I'm gonna go grab these guys some beers.
And Dr. Abad has just changed positioning. Whatever she's doing already is working out, so maybe shouldn't be shuffling. Let's see if that lucky cigarette comes into play. And we got Simmer Down on the button. Simmer Down has a restaurant here in Georgetown, Texas, actually called Simmer Down, and he wanted us to let you know that you are all welcome to come out and try his food. I have personally eaten there, and it is very, very good. And with the cards coming out, we see a couple playable hands coming out. We've got some aces. We've got a Queen 10-8-4 double suited, Queen 7-6-3 double suited, Ace King King 9 with the nut spade draw, Ace Jack 10-8. I have a feeling that this pot will be a little more interesting than the ones we've seen so far. And once again, guys, we are on a 15-minute delay, so as John passes these beers out to everyone, it's going to take them a little while to kick in. So we are a little bit into this stream as it begins. We have whittled down the field of players a little bit. We're down to 4 hands. And a flop has come out. It is King Jack 7, 2 spades on board, meaning that the aces of Aiden are now trailing Simmer Down's top set of kings with the nut flush draw. And that's the kind of hand that you want. Ace Jack 10-8 has a double gutter with the Ace 10 and the 10-8. Aces could still redraw the last remaining ace. Oh, nope, Charlie's holding that. I take that back. Those aces are dead in the water. As far as making a set, we'll see if this spade's going to come out or if one of these straights will connect. The turn is the 9 of hearts. Not helping Aiden improve at all. He's going to need to river this queen that is not a spade if he wants to get some money. We have an all-in of $350. Aiden immediately says, one pair's no good here. Gets rid of it. Congrats to Simmer Down and his restaurant. We'll continue to go around the table and introduce you to some of these guys. In seat 1, we've got Drew. He's originally from Florida, and he just wanted to tell everybody at home, thanks for watching. In seat 2, we've got Charlie. He's originally from Brady, Texas, the geographical center of Texas, and he wanted to tell everyone to make sure they pray more. And that really applies to poker, because sometimes it doesn't seem like anything's working, and you got to try something. I told these guys before we came on that, be good sports and don't worry about me making fun of your poker play or disagreeing with your poker play, because, hey, I make fun and disagree with my own poker play all the time. So, no offense here. If we see any questionable plays, we'll do our best to highlight that for you. If we see some great play, we'll definitely take time out to congratulate and say that there are some lessons that you can get out of this certain spot. We've got some aces back out again. Got a Queen 10-8-8. Ace King 7-6, Ace Queen Jack 10-3. There's that dangling 3 we talked about before. Hopefully we can stir up some action this hand. I'm looking forward to it. So far it's going to be a limp pot. We'll see if the option says yes. It's been raised now. Small blind bumped it up, actually, instead of flatting, and we've got raised 250 total. looks like we're going to go heads up to the flop. 2 strong holdings here. This one could get interesting. And the flop has come out 10 of hearts, 9 of clubs, 6 of spades. That is going to be a great flop for Aiden over here, who's trying to outdraw Charlie, who also picked up an open-ended straight draw as well as a backdoor nut club draw. So we've got an exciting hand brewing here. Both players with backdoor flush draws, both players with a part of this flop. Let's see if this gets interesting, or jiggy, you might say. Had a bet of 150, that's been called. We'll go to the turn. One of those backdoor flush draws does peek its head out. The ace, ace, queen, jack of Charlie has now picked up the backdoor flush draw, as well as still having the open ender. Can't blame Aiden for still trying to buy this pot. He does have a straight draw and a flush draw. Now, he is still looking at only 12 outs here. Oh, I didn't see actually the double gutter to the jack, so he's got a few more outs to the jack with the queen 8 playing. So he does have a double gutted straight draw and a flush draw. So now we're looking at 15 outs here. Let's see if he can snag one of them on the river. We do have a pot of 1.1K and a bet of 500 that is configured into that pot number. Hurry, ask the cigarette what you should do right now. Do you want to bet 500? It is the question. And is that your final answer? Oh, we're going to go into the tank here. And we're going to spend a while in this tank. John, while you've been passing out beers, you're missing a really good one brewing here. Look at all the outs and draws everyone's got this hand.
Catching up right now. Pocket aces, nut flush, straight draw.
And I did say he had 15 outs earlier. Because of that club that came on the turn, it actually cut down a few of those outs. 2 more of those outs are gone, and he's actually only at 13 outs. I did misspeak a minute ago. The cigarette finally decided it was time to fold, and Charlie made his way out of this pot. Now moving around the table, we introduced Simmer Down already. Clayton from Livingston, Texas is actually occupying the 4 seat. He just says to everyone at home, "What's up?" The 5 seat is going to be Aiden. He's originally from Cleveland, Texas. In the 6 seat, or actually the 6th seat is vacant, so we've got HCCC Bob in the 7 seat from Cedar Park, Texas. He's invited you all out to come see HCCC, which is located in Cedar Park, Texas. It is a really fun room to stop by. Make sure you guys look that up and check it out. Got some more hands getting dealt around the table. I see a Queen, Queen, 7-7, no suit, a Ace, Jack, 10-8, another one of those hands I talked about that works really well where your cards are clumped together. We have some aces, Ace, Ace, 10-10 with the hearts going.
That might be too good of a hand for Simmer Down to play. That's way above his range.
Well, he did crack someone else's aces a minute ago with a top set and a nut flush draw. We'll see if his don't suffer the same fate.
You got Bob with the 2 pair as well with pocket queens and pocket 7s. So there's a pretty good chance that somebody's going to flop a set here with four pocket pairs out there.
And Mr. Aiden loves to play pots. He's in once again. He's got the King, Queen, Jack with that dangler 5.
But 5 is suited, though, with his queen.
It's important that your dangler be suited. Brutus is the next player we want to highlight, sitting in the 8th seat, and he's wearing his cowboy hat, showing that he is here for business.
Yeah, Brutus just took down a big tournament online for about 14,000. So, congratulations to him.
congrats. And he wanted to say hi to his kids who were at home asleep, as he predicted.
No, they're probably home watching the live stream because honestly, they're probably the best poker players in the house.
Well, they'll be telling him the stories about everything he did wrong as he gets home in the morning for sure.
So Aiden did hit top pair, but no one did flop that set as we had thought somebody had. But Simmerdown still has that lead with those pocket aces.
The queens and sevens ducked out, and we're now looking at the aces still holding. We'll see if Aiden or Dr. Abad is able to bet anyone out. We have the nut flush draw turn for Simmerdown, as well as an open-ended straight draw for Dr. Abad. Dr. Abad is currently occupying the 9 seat, and she had nothing to say to the people at home. She said, "Who cares about you guys?" Just kidding. I'm sure that she's a very sweet lady and loves all of you very deeply. But for now, she had nothing to say. We'll pause on Aiden here, as he likes to play pots, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel you have a skill advantage and you have the bankroll, it's important to get in there and take shots, as long as you're careful and you know what you're doing. He right now has a straight draw, inside straight draw to the 10. Little does he know he's up against an overpair and an open-ended straight draw. The river is a blank, and amazingly, a pair of aces is actually still good here.
That's rare that a pair can win a hand in PLO.
You don't see it very often.
No flush out there, no straight, no set.
But a hefty pot.
Simmerdown shoves for $300.
He elected to go with the shorter ends of the spectrum on the buy-in, and it seems to be doing him well so far.
Got a pot of $1,600 here.
And we have a call. Here is the one pair winning. The aces being called by a pair of kings.
Make that $1,900.
And a pot this size, not normally going to one pair. But there it is. Magic out of a hat.
Simmerdown was afraid that he was going to play one hand and be out of here.
Yep, he sits corrected.
He sits with a big stack now.
Now it'll be interesting to see if he can still navigate these pots with the deeper stack mentality. Will he adjust his game, or is he just here to have fun and splash around?
Probably a little bit of both if you know Simmerdown.
I'd agree, and one person we know is definitely here to have a good time is Aiden. Aiden has been in pretty much every pot since we've started this live stream, and just paid off a hefty bet on the river with one pair. But once again, we are here to have fun, no judgments, just only the recommendations we can make for you. All right, check those text messages, make sure everybody's watching at home so you can show off, and we got another hand rolling out. John, is there any weekly events that happen just every week at Georgetown Poker Club that people might want to come out and check out?
You know, our Thursday nights are kind of fun. I personally come play them for a couple hours till I have to be home to get my kiddo, but we have a round and round game, which is a round of No Limit Hold'em followed by a round of PLO and then repeat. So we do that round and round, and it gets fun. You get to play PLO, you get to play Hold'em, and get best of both worlds.
Great. We'll touch back on some more events going at Georgetown, but first we've got one that is heating up right now. We've got a few hands that are holding pocket pairs in this one, as well as some hands that are a little clumpy, like Queen Jack 9. Let's see if we can get some sparks. We've definitely got some gasoline.
I'd like to point out that Aiden did fold there.
Wow. Okay. Let's ring. Do we have some special alarm to ring back here?
We need to get one. We need to get some sort of bell or something.
The magic folding bell is what we'll call it. The flop has come out. We apologize for the blurriness when it actually shows the flop. I'm not sure what's going on with this camera. That Queen Jack 9 is going to be very disappointed that it folded, as it would have nailed a wrap on this flop. But there is a flush draw present, and the Jack 5-5 is still in the hand holding that.
Clayton did catch top 2 pair, which gives him a full house draw.
That is correct. Now, top two pair is something you definitely want to protect in Hold'em. I wouldn't overplay it so much in PLO, as we do know two more cards are coming, and the likelihood of a flush or straight card hitting the board is much more likely.
This is where it's a good chance to know your opponent, where if you come over pretty big, if they're going to fold, or if your opponent will be chasing the flush or straight like that.
And this pot size is a little smaller, so it's going to be harder to navigate, but we have a winner already, so this pot is going down.
Clayton did do a pot bet, which allowed him to scare off those pocket queens with a king on the board.
So, John, you have a high hand going on here at Georgetown Poker Club. How does that work?
So you have to have a pocket pair in your hand, and if you hit the high hand, you get the bonus. Right now, I believe it's $547. Today they're chasing quad twos. Usually it's quads are better. Straight flush, royal flush. And Gus the Governor just walked in. Haven't seen this guy in a long time. Actually, I ran into Gus on a cruise.
Of all places.
Yes, on a cruise one time, and in the middle of the ocean, and kind of ironic considering he moved to Mexico.
If you'd run into him in Vegas in a casino, you wouldn't have been surprised
No,
at all.
not at all, not at all. So not much here as far as starting hands. The king queen suited 9-8, that gives them kind of suited connectors and a possible straight draw.
And Charlie has either smoked that cigarette for comfort or has put it away and is trying a new luck strategy.
Yeah, you got simmer down. That's more of the range I like to see simmer down play. That ace 5 3 deuce, that low wheel, straight draw, flush draw.
Now let's take a second to highlight some body language tells going on here. Charlie in the 2-seat, as you see the way he's holding his hands, he's indicating to the table that he's planning to be very patient and pick his spots and not get involved out of line.
So what do we get? We got a bet up to simmer down, just needs to call 10. Now Aiden needs to call 10. Aiden made it 50. He's definitely here to have fun.
And we do have some calls coming around the table, so this pot is going to start off a little juicy. We already have $300 in the pot.
$300 in the pot, and there wasn't really a lot of great starting hands on this one.
Well, that's the beauty of PLO. It brings the action, even if necessarily all the requirements aren't there for it.
All right, 10, 7, 9.
Don't see any Jack 8s lingering around. We do have two clubs present, so Aiden does have the nut flush draw, so another pot he's probably going to stick around for a while in.
Yeah, we got that 9-8 with Brutus. He's got the open-ended straight draw.
A lot of straight draws around the table as we peek around. We've got a diamond draw present. Now Brutus picks up some outs. A hand has been tabled here. Was that a hand face up, John?
I think he won and he just showed it. It didn't look like it was a call. I'm sorry I missed it. We had somebody walk into the sound booth.
Okay, well, guys, don't forget to come down here and try to hit your quad deuces. Any other weekly events going on? Contenders? Anything else you want to highlight?
Yeah, we have contenders, which is great for beginners or experienced players. We have free rolls. They're $10 to get in. That includes your membership and your entry into the free roll. They are Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Wednesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 5 p.m.
And as you see here in the 7-seat, Bob from HCCC, very well-respected player around town, takes down a lot of tournaments, plays a lot of cash games, paces himself out. Oh, we have quads. How did we not see this? We have quads in this pot.
Quads, and Aiden raised $550.
It says fold.
No, now it says he has $967 to call. Not sure what's going on. We may be having some technical difficulties.
It says fold next to the quad eights, and
So Aiden's all in
he's
for
not gonna be happy.
967.
Oh, okay. Well, the graphics on the board changed.
I
So
think we're trying to catch up.
we're happy to show you guys some highlights of this hand that just took place.
We're going to go ahead and pause the commentary while we get the technical difficulties fixed.
I'm used to seeing Brutus play a few more pots and get involved. John, what do you think his strategy is today?
I think he's not used to these players, and so he's kind of trying to gauge the players and see where they're at. And I think he's going to come in strong in a little bit.
Okay, so sitting back, viewing your opponent's tendencies, and then trying to use that later against them. That sounds like solid poker strategy, John.
Yeah, which typically Brutus isn't used to. So I got to give a cowboy hats off to him.
The tip of the hat.
So we got Charlie with pocket queens, Clayton Queen Jack 10 suited, pocket 10s with Brutus, pocket 9s with Dr. Abad.
See, I'm more partial to that 9985. I like hands that have that little clump for 2 cards to hit, and then I've got a wrap. So I really like a hand like that. Let's see if Dr. Abad can represent for me, since I already said I like her hand and her blue shirt. She said that she's never played PLO before, but she's got the look of a player.
Yeah, most poker players that are good say that they've never played that game before.
Ah, she used that strategy, huh? Never played before.
You know how many times I've said it's my first time sitting down at a poker table?
Hers was quite convincing. If it was a bluff, she got it through on me, John.
Yeah, she is a female, though. You know, she can play that game.
I do allow the females to bluff me quite often. All right, John, we've got a little time to kill while this one is whittling down the field. What's your favorite sports movie? All time.
My favorite sports movie all time. That's a tough question. I like The Replacements.
All right. If you need more time to think about it, we'll let you think about it, as we do have a flop come out, and someone did flop a wrap. Drew, for some reason, was possessed to play the King 6-4-3, and he is now rewarded for it with a top 2 and a gut shot.
Yeah, Drew also plays a lot of hands. We hadn't seen that today, but he typically does jump in a lot of hands.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens on this one. We do have some backdoor draws from the other hands, as well as another king present from Aiden, and Aiden likes to continue, as he will now. We have an all-in from Aiden, in fact, with just a top pair and backdoor straight draws.
This could get interesting.
Can Drew figure out that his hand is strong enough to make the call here?
Aiden shoves for $1,100, so that is $807 to call for Drew.
And he's probably going to be in the tank for half a second, and he says, let's go.
Make the call.
And he'll be happy to see that he's in pretty decent shape. Dodging a backdoor clubs. A 5 would be a really bad card for him, as Aiden would have a wrap. Obviously, Aiden wouldn't think that way. He would think that is an amazing card. Ooh, is that a 7 on the river? Well, Aiden did, in fact, steal the first one.
They did run that twice.
And it looks like it's going to be a split. Kings and 6s on the second board for Drew, and kings and 7s. King 7 is a really strong hand, some people would say, John. All right, it's just me then.
I was still evaluating the hand. They ran it twice, so I was kind of watching what was going on.
All right, John. So you're sticking with replacements. Originally, I was going to ask you what your favorite poker movie is, but unfortunately, there's just not enough poker movies out there, and everyone's go-to seems to be to snap answer rounders.
Yeah, I believe so. That seems to be the go-to as far as poker movies go.
Okay, so replacements. You wanted to see John Wick play football, basically.
Yeah, I think what would be funny. I thought about this the other day. I want to get those gold coins you get when you put a 5 in the vending machine and you get a monster.
I'm following.
Okay, so I want to get probably $300 in those, and next trip I take, pay with all gold coins just everywhere I go, and just hold it up like put it on the table, push it forward for everything, and just feel like John Wick.
Oh man, you need to just go ahead and invest in some crypto, John, and do the digital coins, my friend.
You can't push those on the table like John Wick. I would just kind of feel like a badass.
I got you. Shove everything to the middle.
Exactly.
And we've got another hand about to get going here in a second. John, there's one important question I think that needs to be settled for once and all. And does pineapple go on pizza?
Oh, absolutely not. There's no fruit on pizza. And as far as that goes, no fruit in beer either.
So no IPAs for you?
No, I think the Mexican beers, we can make an exception.
Okay,
but
with the lime.
you don't put a fruit in a Bud Light or a Miller Lite. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay, I hear you. There's some tasty IPAs out there. You got to try an electric jellyfish sometime. Very popular in Texas.
They were talking about that at the table yesterday. I definitely need to grab me some of those.
It has a nice smell of tangerines when you just smell it. So as far as the fruit in the beer, you get a big tangerine smell, but then you still get that beer and hops flavor in there as well once you taste it. Hashtag not a sponsor. John, I got one more important question coming up for you, but we'll save that one for a minute. Let's see if we can get any action going in this one. We are playing 5-10 with the option of a $25 straddle. There hasn't been that many yet, but there's still been plenty of action. We've had some pretty good sized pots, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And we did actually have one player that didn't make it today for today's live stream. So we do have that open seat at seat 6.
Maybe for you? Come on up.
I'm kind of been looking at it myself, actually.
Well, I was speaking to the audience at home, but, we all know John will get in there and mix it up.
Yeah, it looks like they might need somebody to go in there and create some action.
Oh, well, punting's usually for football, but it can be fun in poker.
I'd sit down, maybe play one hand and look stupid for a second and go broke.
As he is segueing for me to jump in and remind you that he has a bunch of PLO caches on Poker Bros, I might add.
Yeah, I've done pretty well on Poker Bros. In fact, while I was on quarantine for COVID, I did pretty well for 2 weeks.
All right, a whole 2 weeks, John. There you go. That's the model for a poker player, huh? The swings happen, and you can't help it sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Charlie with the Ace King and a suited 9-5. There's not much in the starting hand range.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play that, and he doesn't. He seems to play really conservative holdings, the kind of hands I mentioned, like, oh, Bob's got a 10-8-7-6. There's a clumped hand we might get some action on. Seems to be the players are all sharing those cards, as Drew also has a 9-8, and Clayton's holding the King 9-7-6. It has been raised to 60, and we'll see if we're going to keep it a three-way pot. We do. Looks like Bob is going to pick up a straight draw with the 8-7 to the 5. We've got a pair of aces for Drew. This pot is definitely stillable, and all players could definitely turn some cards that change the flow of this hand. We did have a heart pop out, and we're down to 2 hands. Will Bob be able to continue with his straight draw here versus Drew's powerful position? And we do. We have a big bet called here. 250 on the river. And Bob called with a pair of 6s. Am I seeing that correct? He called with third from the bottom pair. A 250 bet on the river. That is unlike Bob. He might have wanted to see something. Sometimes when you see a tell, you pay for the hand even though you know you're going to lose because you want to see what that meant. Do you ever do stuff like that, John?
Sometimes you just got to see what they're playing with, and you don't think they have anything, or you want to know. That way, next time you can capitalize off that move.
It's also really nice to show off on TV that you called a guy with almost bottom pair and won.
Yeah, that's definitely a highlight reel for him. He may crop that clip out and put it on his Facebook.
I don't think he'll do anything. It was not good. He was just paying the piper there. Back around to Aiden here. Let's see if Aiden is going to continue to mix it up after a quick little chat with his neighbor. And we didn't get his cards to scan, so we won't know what that hand was. Got a couple playable hands coming around. I wouldn't play them for large size bets, but we do have some hands that could take a flop.
We're just 10 to call at this point. Simmer Down will call that ace 10 with 5. Clayton may come over the top here with queen jack suited and pocket sixes.
Let's see the option.
He did raise to 35.
That's a good price. That's about standard sizing at a 5-10 game normally. You don't see a lot of pros sitting down and potting. They tend to open 3.5x at a limit like this. Nobody really connects on this flop. It's paired, so it's going to slow everybody down. Although Simmer Down's 10s are still good, he's going to check to the other two gentlemen that both have pocket pairs as well. We're going to lose one, and we'll get down to two-handed. Heads up action for the turn. And Clayton has spiked the jack here. The best hand, the 10s, folded, but ended up being a correct decision as the jack peeled right off. After that, we had a king on the river, and that pair of jacks is going to hold. And once again, one pair is going to be the strongest hand. It's happened several times.
That's going to give Clayton the check mark there with a $225 pot. Adds 130 to it, and Bob folds.
No surprise there was a check and a quick check behind there. Once again, as we've highlighted several times, one pair is not that strong of a hand in Hold'em. You're trying to draw at minimum straights, and you'd rather have holdings that draw at flushes and full houses, of course. John, I'm getting really curious about these monthly events. Do you already know what February's event is, or you just take it a couple months at a time?
I mark it to the next event. So even if I knew Kyle, I couldn't tell you at this point.
Okay, top secret here at Georgetown Poker Club. You've got to come up here and ask for yourself. At this point, we want to take advantage of the downtime between hands and offer you a chance to win a free daily membership up here. I'm really good at giving away John's money. And so what I want to do here is give you a pop quiz. You can answer in the live chat, or you can come up to Georgetown Poker Club yourself and answer. But the first person to answer this pop quiz question is going to get a free day pass on John. John didn't know I was giving this away, but now he's got to do it because it's live. So the question is, and if no one gets this at about 30 minutes, we'll add a hint. But the question is going to be, who was the original general manager of Georgetown Poker Club? If you can get that answer, zip it on up here, and you've got yourself a free day pass. If you're already annual member or monthly member, John will give you a couple free hours, because I just said so.
Yeah, we'll definitely cover that. Not sure the question's a really good one, but we'll go from there.
It can only go up from here, then, you would say, in the future episodes. So there's a bright side to every situation. We've got a flop out. We've got a nut flush draw picked up by Aiden. We've got middle pair for Clayton, and Simmer Down is holding a hand that's a little spread out. He did have a couple clubs, but like I said, you want to stick to hands that are more clumped together. The 9-8-5 portion of Aiden's hand is definitely appropriate. The 8-6-4 with the queen suited was good, but this hand will get over quite quickly, and we'll move on to the next one. So, John, I said I had another important question for you coming up, and you know it wouldn't be you and me interacting together unless I set you up like this. So, John, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
Not the Bucks. How about that?
Okay.
But
Salty
not,
much?
But not the Patriots either.
Oh man, he just wants to shoot down all my teams, but at least he didn't go claiming that the Chiefs are definitely going to win. He's being a little more objective at least. It's anyone's game.
Yeah, this year has been one of those years that anybody can beat anybody. So I definitely look forward to seeing the rest of that football season.
And that hand will end, and we'll proceed to the next. Since I'm all alone in the booth for a minute while John is out running around, I guess I can give away more stuff. I'm just kidding, I won't do that to him. But let's take a look at the action that's about to proceed. We've got some players that seem to be playing lots of pots. Let's take advantage of that and have a great show. While you guys are here, go ahead and smash that like button, turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel. Whatever you feel like doing, guys, the more the merrier. That's what we say around here. And Brutus is going to get us started off here. Like I said, he's been playing a lot more conservative than his normal style. Usually he will play hands in position and open with any holdings. As I say that, we've got him now to raise under the gun to that standard $35 sizing.
Kyle, sorry for stepping away. I'm also technical support today as well.
Nice. I gave away some more stuff while you were gone.
Oh, damn.
Just kidding. Just kidding. I was nice.
Next, they're probably going to call me in to go, clean the bathroom. I'm also the janitorial crew.
Well, that's part of being the owner.
So Bob with pocket aces here makes the check with a 4-Jack-9 on the board, rainbow.
Double suited aces, I might add. So of course it came out without a suit for him.
But he did also hit that jack, so not that important yet. But it could end up in 2 pair that way.
So if you notice on the board here, Brutus is holding the 50% marker. And had a higher percentage than the other 2 hands before it got down to heads up. Those hands that are clumped together, as you see, tend to flop stronger holdings post-flop. And he has flopped an open-ended straight draw. The board pairing is not a good sign for him. There's a good chance that if a good-sized bet comes in from Bob here, that those cards will shoot right in the muck like we just saw them. So great plays by both players. No one did anything wrong.
And Bob took down about almost $1,000 pot there.
Once again, we'd like to see some activity in the chat room, guys. If you're watching, we got a bunch of viewers in the room. Go ahead and shoot in your guess for the original general manager of Georgetown Poker Club. I promise that if I have to give you a hint, it's going to get very easy.
So, Kyle, as we go back to this football talk, if the Patriots happen to play the Bucks in the Super Bowl,
Yes.
who are you going to root for?
Okay.
You going to root for your original team or your bandwagon team?
I have actually donated some thought towards this subject, and I decided, as I'm for great success for both parties, that the Patriots have a long time to work with Mac Jones and win a bunch of Super Bowls, whereas Brady is running out of time. So if that rare situation actually was accomplished and they played each other, I might give the edge to rooting for Brady to go ahead and extend, because I would like to see him retire with more than any franchise has.
At this point, though, I'm wondering if Brady may actually still outplay Mac Jones as far as career length.
And that's a worthwhile comment to make. Speaking of people sticking around for a while, we see some strong hands in this one. Clayton is probably going to stick around for a while with his ace, king, queen, 10.
Yeah, definitely all face cards. That gives him that Broadway draw, a lot of high pairs, that kind of thing. So So far, we just have a little $25 pot, 10 to call for Clayton. I expect him to make a raise there.
I think Simmer Down will stick around with his holdings. Bob is probably going to try to take a flop if it's cheap enough, and even Brutus at this current price.
Bruce does call that 30. Simmer calls a 30. And we will be going to the flop.
Four-handed, and this is much more like the PLO we're used to seeing.
Ace 4-5. That gives Bob two pair, top two pair actually. I think it's a flush draw to Simmer Down. I expect him seeing stick around, but Clayton has a better flush draw with an ace. I expect him to make a little bet here, maybe even a pot-sized bet.
With the ace of clubs on the board, that king 10 of clubs is looking very powerful, as well as him holding the ace.
Clayton did make it 80. Bob called the 80, and Simmer Down will probably call that 80 thinking his queen jack of clubs is good, even though it isn't. If that flush hits.
Bob is technically in the lead here, and he does have that gut shot as well as top two, so he's definitely filling his hand. The turn is a king of spades, now improving Clayton to the best hand, but Bob has still got some outs. Let's see if he can squirm out from this one. And actually, Simmer Down picks up the Queen Jack 10 wrap on Broadway now with that flush draw, so this could spell some trouble for him. He's also holding a spade draw. That one is, in fact, good. John, who do you think is going to make it to the river here?
I think all of them are going to stick around. A lot of them have good possibilities for a hand there.
It's the hand we've been waiting for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd also like to remind everybody that Simmer Down did start with $600 and is already up to 17 during this hand.
Well, this should make for some interesting ramifications after this. If someone is to win this pot, there'll definitely be some people coming back for their money.
Dr. Abad can text. Can you see that? See your hands like flying? His thumbs?
90 words a minute, huh?
I think so. Am I the only person that saw that?
She is a fast texter. I was not noticing.
What's going to happen here? We got a bet of 325. I believe that was a pot bet.
Aiden either agrees with everything going on in this hand, or he's listening to some music that we don't know about. But he is jamming.
Hey, sometimes you have that music in your head, and you just got to rock with it.
I think Simmer Down knew he was going to be on TV today. Look at all these professional postures and everything he's got going on.
That was a blank on the river. That leaves Clayton with the check mark there. So as long as he doesn't fold here, he's got the win.
And 1.1K in the middle. Looks like a couple checks. Ace King is going to show him the bad news. He's going to say, hey, look at everything I had, but I missed it. And no one's going to care. Because no one cares what you folded, right, John?
Exactly.
All right, you take a look around at the percentage of the chips in play. We did have some bigger buy-ins. From Clayton started with 3K, and he's up 800, still holding the highest percentage of chips on the table. Let's see if Aiden can swing one of these pots and put a crack in there. John, if there's one reason overall that you would say people should come check out Georgetown Poker Club, what's the best reason to come on down here and check it out?
I just feel like it's more of a chill atmosphere. You get to know, like, all the players know all the players. The staff and players know each other. People walk in, they hug each other, and they all know each other's names. It's like the Cheers bars of poker rooms.
Very well put, very well put. And that sounds like a pretty good reason to me. Some people like the social atmosphere that comes around poker and not just the competitive nature, and they do come for that. So that was a really good sell there. I'm going to co-sign that message.
We got a Simmer Down with the ace-10 suited. I think he may stick around to make that call if I know this man.
Stick around. Someone that doesn't stick around is LeBron James. How do you think the Lakers are going to do this year?
Is he with the Lakers still?
Who knows?
I just can't keep track. I think he was with some other team last week, and COVID this week, and next week maybe might retire. I don't know.
All right, we've got some action going, guys. We've got Dr. Abad with the nut diamonds. We've got Simmer Down with the nut hearts and an open ender. This one is rapidly heating up. Let's see what we get here on the turn. $50 bet. We get to the river. It is a blank for everyone. And the nut straight is going to hold on to this pot. Brutus finally gets to play a hand.
Yeah, he made it 140. Looks like he took down that pot with that bet.
And throws the cards in with a little something for the dealer. Any of you guys that play poker, tips are very much appreciated by the dealers. That is the main source of their pay. And just coming from that industry, on behalf of all dealers everywhere, thank you for your tips. Now we've got the Lucky Cigarette back in. I don't know if this is the same one or a different one. The end might be a little wet by now.
Yeah, if he's using the same one, that thing is probably pretty soggy.
And as that cigarette is soggy, the cards have been a little stale. Hopefully this hand will deal out a little more action and we can get some more people flopping flush draws and wraps and the kind of things people want to see, a set versus a bunch of hand with a bunch of outs, and see if we can do our best to analyze some play here. So far it's been pretty passive, pretty conservative, and we've agreed with most of the play that's happened on the table, other than a few of the people holding on to one pair and trying to show down with that. That is a little off-brand of PLO, but hopefully we'll get some other good spots to highlight going forward.
Let's see if I can fix this flop cam. Maybe zoom it back a little bit and see if that helps out a little bit. We'll see what happens there. Like I said earlier, I'm also technical support here.
So, John, a lot of people don't know how to get to Georgetown Poker Club. If you were just coming up 35 to Georgetown, how would you get here?
Well, basically, you exit Williams Drive.
Okay.
Then you go west about 1.5, 2 miles, I believe. And then there's a Mas Fajitas on the left, the Social Security Administration, our friends over at Georgetown Jewelry. A lot of businesses in this little strip center, but just pull in there, come around the back, and come on in the door.
Okay, big shopping center located on the back side of the building. Go ahead and pull in, drive around the other side, park your car. You'll see all the cars from all the players. It's becoming a very popular choice in Georgetown.
So Dr. Abad has pocket jacks with a 7-4. Not much to back up the pocket jacks. She may get in there. Remember, this is her first time playing PLO.
Of course.
And then you got Drew with a King 10. He probably won't call that. He didn't call that.
And there's Mr. Charlie again, enjoying the show, just watching from the stands.
Simmer Dan has that King with pocket 9s, but that King 9 is suited.
And we do have a mystery hand here in the cutoff. 2 mystery hands.
Yeah, that's where they were saying there was cards that weren't reading a second ago, so we'll see what happens there.
And the pocket jacks are still the best hand. We'll find out if anyone wants to see a turn and try to compete. Oh, looks like a bet has happened from Clayton, the mystery hand. And it's going to take it down. And as you see, we showed before, Aiden did buy in for that 3K. He's played a lot of hands. He's doing pretty well to still be even.
That seat, I'm surprised that seat 6 is still open.
Someone, come on down and take it.
There was a lot of interest at the other table in that seat, so they may have just saw these crazy players over here and got scared.
So guys, a quick difference between Hold'em and PLO is we talked about the number of cards it must play, but it's also played pot limit. And so what that means is the maximum you can bet is what the pot will hold or allow, meaning the current chips that are already in there. There is some math that goes into it when you're facing a bet to calculate what it will be, and that is the way that this thing goes. You would think that with it being limited in the pot fashion, that might mean you would have smaller pots, but that is not the case, especially when you play bigger limits like this.
Yeah, those pots can jump up pretty big, and the dealers have to calculate those pots. So that's definitely, you want to make sure to tip your dealers and appreciate them for that hard work.
A little more rapid texting, and then back to poker.
Did you see the texting that time?
It was so fast I didn't, John.
Maybe that's what she's a doctor in. She's a doctor in rapid texting.
Some are rapid eye movement, rapid finger movement. Guys, you've heard it all now. We've got a double suited Queen 7-7-5, Ace King 10-2. Some of the stronger holdings, those are the hands I'd expect to see, but you know, anytime someone has a suited ace like Clayton, it's hard to not take a look at the flop. Can we get Charlie in a pot? Jack 10-8-5, not very strong, but the Jack 10-8 clump could make useful after the flop. Will he make an appearance? Will his chips make an appearance in this pot?
No, Charlie has to jump out of that one.
I believe he's the big blind. He is, so we haven't had action yet to him. It is just a limp pot, so he may, by default, get to see one.
I think Aiden's having some problems getting his cards to read.
There's a monitor behind them showing them, John. That's why they're looking back that way.
He might have brought those from home. I don't know.
Well, everyone's got their own strategies in poker. That is one.
I don't think that's the legal one, though.
Not allowed.
That gets you left in the desert in Vegas.
Do not try this at home or in a poker room. I used to know a guy that would do that with his cards before every hand, and he would cite carditas, carditas, carditas. His name was Rafa. Shout out to Rafa out there if you're listening.
You got Bob 45 to make the call with Ace King. He does make that call. And Brutus folds. The dock is in.
And of course, Charlie says, nope, off with their heads.
Yeah. Still can't. I think Aiden's getting a little frustrated over there.
No, you just need to rub them a couple more times. For sure, it's just a couple more, and then you're there. And we are getting down to those hands that I mentioned would be active in this pot. We picked up the diamond draw for Dr. Abad. Still don't know what Aiden's holding. Maybe someone somewhere knows what those cards are besides him, but we don't either.
Doc made it 50. I'm sorry, 75.
And a quick call.
Aiden made the quick call, and Bob, HCC Bob, did he check out or did he call? Looked like he called that.
He did call, and he checked now, and the flush is the best hand that we know of right now, and she's going to put in a good-sized bet on the button. Looks like $1.25.
And just for you at home, $1.25 is not $1.25. It's $1.25 that makes the pot $510.
Yes, $100 is often referred to as a poker dollar.
And that made Aiden fold, so we'll never know what he had there.
Well, we may go whisper in his ear in a little bit and find out for you guys. Just kidding. We'll keep moving on. I have a feeling he's going to be in plenty more hands, and I do believe we got the issues worked out where this should be rectified very shortly. We still haven't gotten any guesses as to who the first general manager was of Georgetown Poker Club. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a hint.
Let me check the other stream real quick. Give me 1 second.
Okay. We'll wait to see if we have a winner. Otherwise, I'm about to give a hint.
We do have some comments on the stream that's on
I think I
Facebook.
saw a winner. I think I saw a winner. There it is. We do have a winner.
That's only a first name by Billy, though. Does that count?
That definitely counts. He does win. I was going to have so much fun giving you the hint, which was going to be this person is awesome, probably the most awesome person that ever existed. They're truly incredible. I can't really say enough about this guy. The list of accolades goes on and nice words. I wouldn't even know where to stop. So
I appreciate that, Kyle. Thank you.
So we'll give it up. Yes, it is in fact me.
Oh,
I
okay.
was the
I thought you were
original.
implying that it was me.
I was the original general manager here, and we do have a winner. Billy Westfall's got a couple free hours next time he comes up here, and I did see that he also answered on his Super Bowl prediction, and he said the Cowboys. If you look right below my name, the very next answer, he says Cowboys. So we're glad to have you tuned in, whether your answer makes any sense or not.
So does that mean we take those hours back by saying that?
I'm not sure. Hold on. We at least throw a flag. We'll at least throw a flag.
And Billy said, "Oh wait, let me check my guess." So the Twitch stream hasn't been going very well, but the stream on our Facebook page has had some action.
All right, guys, feel free to chime in with any questions you have. We're here to answer them. You see, we have some downtime to kill occasionally. Let's see what you guys got for us. Ask away, guys. If you guys are enjoying the stream, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments to let us know you're enjoying the stream. If you're not, don't bother answering.
Yeah, this is our first commentary for live commentary. While we do the live stream, we've done a commentary post stream where we add it later. So bear with us. We're little green, if I may.
Yes. So really, how I got here was John was trying to think of someone who would just talk and talk and talk without any real words coming out, and I just said, "Hey, that's me. I'm perfect."
Oh yeah, he doesn't make sense half the time, but he does know poker. So as we go, the hands just came out. Probably the worst hand of poker on the top hand. That was that King 7 suited.
Life is a matter of perspective.
That's Kyle's favorite hand here, by the way.
Well, he ruined our next pop quiz, I feel like, right there.
Thank God, no more hours.
All right, well, we do have some decent holdings. We have a few mystery hands involved in this one. We'll do our best to guess or shine light if we see some kind of betting pattern or anything that indicates the strength of these hands.
So we do have a couple questions. We have, first off, hey guys, which one of the A-Bads do you think is better? So that kind of put that out there that Drew in seat 1 is the Doc's other half.
Oh, okay, interesting. The plot thickens.
They actually got married in August. I was supposed to go down there to Florida to their wedding, and that was when I found that COVID bug.
Oh, well,
and
congratulations, guys, on getting married.
And I didn't make it down there, but I definitely congratulated them, and we're glad to have them here. They're great friends of ours, and we definitely love them. Okay, so Billy actually commented that she has to be the fastest texter ever. I've never seen anybody text that fast.
90 words a minute. I don't even know if that's good. What is the standard for typing? How many words a minute do they want you to text?
Let me guess, Kyle. You're a pecker. You peck the keys when you type?
You know what? I am not, but I'm definitely not that guy that slides his finger between all the letters and magically the right word pops up on the screen. That would not be me.
Well, Matt, you said that you think Jen's better. She claims this is her first time playing PLO.
All right, guys, in the chat, if you believe this is her first time ever playing PLO, put a 3. If you think she's played poker before, put a 0.
Played PLO before. PLO.
Yes, PLO.
All right, we got Brutus here. Bet 490 all in. The Doc to call with a mystery hand. Matt says she lies.
Well, John, I just sent someone over to your house to rob the place, and I saw you got a driveway notification, so I guess my plan is foiled.
Yeah, wait till you get those drone guns out there.
Well, Matt is not a believer of her story. He has put a bunch of zeros. He definitely does not believe her story. We will find out as the action keeps going if she's telling the truth or not. But one thing's for sure, we got to have a new poll now. Guys in the chat, do you think Charlie will play a hand tonight? You can reply with a yes or a no. Will Charlie play a hand tonight? Oh, Brutus is definitely going to play more hands.
Brutus just threw some more money out there as the newest player of PLO just took down another pot.
So, John, what's the attendance been like on your free roll and your monthly special tournaments? How many tables would people expect to walk in and have a field size of?
Before I do that, I want to welcome Miss Alice to the live stream. She's watching here in Georgetown, and I would also, as far as tomorrow goes, I'm expecting a good turnout. That tag team tournament we're having tomorrow is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be fun. So for those of you that don't know tag team tournaments, there's multiple ways to do it, but what we're doing is both players of the team will be at different tables. They will both be playing a stack at the same time.
Okay.
And so we'll have multiple tables going, and then there's going to be 3 types of switches. So when you're going to have a red wristband, your team will, or your team will have a blue wristband. So there'll be a red switch, a blue switch, or an all switch. And so it'll make it interesting. You'll be playing against different people. You'll be playing a different stack. But when that sound goes off, freeze. Play stops. The only exception is if you've said raise, you have to complete the action. And so if you're ready to check and they say freeze, you didn't check yet, it's up to your partner when they come to your stack if they're going to check or bet.
Well, that is an interesting format, and anything that has animal sounds and tag team in it sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, that's probably kind of your thing, right?
Well, at least the animal sounds. Another hand getting dealt out around here, guys. Once again, we do invite you to come check out Georgetown sometime for yourself. Look at the stacks, the pretty colors. It looks like fun, doesn't it? Come on up. Take a try for yourself. Did we get any votes on whether Charlie would play a hand?
I'm not seeing anything. I don't think anybody really knows.
All right. Some mysteries are better left unexplained.
This definitely isn't a hand for Charlie, the Ace 10 8-3 rainbow. Kyle, explain what the rainbow means.
Well, if you open up a red bag, you can taste it. But we're talking about cards here, so we'll be talking about different suits appearing on the board, unique suits. 3 cards come out, and they're being all different suits. That would be rainbow.
I think that I actually heard crickets with that joke.
Okay.
All right, Aiden with the pocket deuces. He likes to play some pots. He will probably jump in there just to see a flop. And he did.
And we have 3 of a kind flop by Aiden. Aiden that likes to mix it up. Once again, we have a mystery hand. Boom. Oh, 2 people holding the jack. One of them with jacks full and 4s full simultaneously. Aiden's going to need to pull a 5 out of this deck or he's going to be in bad shape.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong hand, and Drew's probably going to milk this for a pretty good pot.
Now, if I was playing at a very competitive table here, I would have a lot of doubt in my jack 5 deuce deuce, as I'm not drawing at better full houses. If someone does in fact flop the 4s full or the jacks full of 4s, I want to have a bunch of overcards that I can redraw to. Would make me feel a lot better about continuing with just 3 of a kind. Miss Alice, once again, we are happy to see you in the chat. If we were on Poker Bros right now, I'd be sending a flower right over to you. And Miss Alice is one of the original gangsters of Georgetown Poker Club. If she ever thought that word would be used alongside her name, we're happy to be the ones to say it. So, John, you got any upcoming trips planned to go play any poker tournaments?
Not any poker tournaments. I was actually after my last trip, where was I? I went to Kansas City, the Chiefs game when they beat the Cowboys actually, and so Billy, you remember that, right? And
Shots
so,
fired, Billy. Shots fired.
so then I decided I was like, you know what? It's getting cold. I'm not gonna go any more games. And after a few drinks, me and a couple buddies decided to go to the Denver game this weekend. So we're gonna fly out Sunday. They flexed that game to the night game. It's in Kansas City, Chiefs versus Denver, and we will fly in Sunday morning, fly out Monday morning.
And to tie in all these Cowboys themes here, I actually was going to play Teddy Bridgewater in fantasy this week, but opted for Taysom Hill. And boy, did he bail me out with that touchdown at the very end of the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You used to be able to play Taysom Hill as a quarterback, a running back, or a
tight
receiver,
end
or a
last
tight
year.
end. Yes.
Tight end last year. What a sick cheat that was. We have some strong hands in here, guys. We have a bunch of Broadway holdings. We've got the Ace Queen 10 for Charlie. We may finally get to see him mix it up. He does have a nut flush draw. We got King Queen Jack 10 for Simmer Down. I have no doubt that he's going to be a part of this. Ace Queen 5-4 for Clayton. Some really strong holdings here. And we get the King 9-3 flop. Looking for someone holding diamonds. I don't see it at this particular moment. There we go. Bob has it. Little will he know that 9 high diamond draw is good here. The Queen Jack 10 of Simmer Down is looking very strong. That is the hand I would want to have here if I was playing John. Would you like any other hand other than that King Queen Jack 10 here?
I prefer pocket kings, maybe better diamond draw.
Well, I mean of the hands present,
Oh,
John.
okay. Yeah, no.
You don't just get to look at the deck and go, well, I wish upon this star.
I thought I got to pick my hand is the way you said it. And Billy apparently loved that comment about the Cowboys getting shut down by the Chiefs.
Well, some wounds cut deep.
It's funny. They said that Dak did not have any touchdowns, but he did throw it to a Chiefs player in the end zone.
That is interesting, but as a little bit of sweet justice and revenge, I will point out that Patrick Mahomes had the same amount of touchdowns in the last Super Bowl.
You gotta live in the present, sir. Live in the present. All right, so we got, as we move on.
There you go, Billy. I got you. Got your back.
To the quick subject change.
Well, I'm getting some interesting sign language that you guys might get to pick up on camera 15 minutes later. I didn't understand a single word of it, as you will, even though it was all sign language. Some new poker variation of sign language I didn't understand. But there must be something interesting about to happen. Guys, make sure you stay tuned. And once again, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to Georgetown Poker Club Live so that you can hear my wonderful voice again sometime.
Yeah, and Kyle, would you tell them why we're on a 15-minute delay?
The reason that we do a 15-minute delay is that we want to keep the game as fair as possible. And with the age of technology that we're in, someone could easily have someone watching and texting them as to their opponent's holdings, which would give them a massive advantage, such as having a 70% favorite to win from that Queen Jack 10, as I mentioned before. Even though it has not connected yet, it is still a very strong hand.
Yeah, he also does have that king, though, so that gives him a little bit of advantage there as far as having top pair and a pretty good draw.
We do have a mystery hand, so we'll see if that adds an added wrinkle to this situation. But yes, that Simmer Down should be very happy with his holdings right now. There is 2 flush draws present that he is not holding, so he must be a little careful, but I'm eyeing him as to be the eventual winner. And Aiden goes back into the tank as he jams away to this invisible music.
I can't tell if he has headphones in, but I don't see him.
Well, if he has some kind of new headphones that are hashtag not a sponsor, they are incredibly invisible.
So yes, we are always looking for good sponsors. We can promote your product. If you want to give product to all the players, swag, whatever you have, we're happy to distribute that for you. So Drew claims that he has 10K in front with the face. Um, I think he may be exaggerating.
Have you ever seen anyone try to run a bluff on the chat?
I think he may have just done that.
Well, we'll let y'all catch them as Alan makes sure he catches this text message. And maybe he's telling the kids goodnight. You can go ahead and go to sleep. I already rebought, and you don't want to watch any more of this show tonight.
He probably doesn't want them to tell his wife how many times he's rebut.
Very valid point. There's Charlie shaking his head. He might be thinking about how nice it would be to have some cards and how the ones he's had have not lived up to his expectation. But we're all hopeful that he'll find something so we can find out what in fact he does like.
Yeah, he really hasn't had much to play. I mean, he may be a little bit of a tight player, but he hasn't really had quality hands to play with.
We have an all-in for 2.4K right now.
Dr. Abad with the mystery hand shoves for the world.
I like how the mystery hands are rotating around the table, not consistent in one place.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe one card, the chips went out on the card. Sometimes with those RFID cards, if players are bending them, it could actually destroy the chip inside of the card.
Ouch, okay. Well, let's see what happens as this situation develops further. She's got a mystery hand, and right now she's claiming beginner's luck.
So we have another comment from Billy. He said, y'all keep up the good work, and I hope both of y'all stub your big toes for those Cowboys comments. I did point out that Kyle actually stood up for you. It was my big toe that you're rooting against here. But, in fact, I do want to point out something. Billy's son, I believe he's an 8th grader. He is a a middle school athlete phenom. This kid's scoring like 3-4 touchdowns a game. He's banking on points, like racking up the points in basketball. This kid is going to be huge in the future, and like already scoring. He scored offense, defense, kick return. He's kicked extra points. This kid is crazy.
Cordell Stewart, eat your heart out. We got a new slash in town.
So big shout out there, Billy. We did get a call there. It looks like $6,700 pot with chips back.
With only kings and fives with an ace? Was the river really another king? We caught a bluff here. We have caught a bluff.
Did she scoop that?
Where is the check mark?
We don't have her cards, so we don't know.
She mucked, right? Nope, she's getting the pot.
She got the pot there.
So whatever she had could beat fives up. Oh, there they are. A couple nines.
Set of nines.
Oh, set of nines, yes. Yes.
First time.
I think the cat's out the bag. Yep, the cat's out the bag on that. She was bluffing us in the back room that had nothing to do with the poker players. Maybe she was hoping one of them would overhear, but we hope to get you a new stat count in a second and show you for sure she is demolishing the table.
Hey, Billy corrected me. His son is a 7th grader. And
even more impressive.
And just a super stud. Hey, Billy, if you want, you can go ahead and, if you have a link to his highlight reel, post that up there in the chat. I'd love to show the viewers what he is right there.
And does he have an agent left? Because I'm available.
And he never stops talking, obviously.
Which works well for an agent.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, you never stop talking was what agents do. Show me the money.
I'm short the law degree.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Show me the money. Just go for it.
Show me the money.
There you go. And that's what Dr. Abad just said in seat 9. She said, show me the money.
Help me help you.
I think she's the one that's up to about 10K over there.
All those pretty black chips.
I think she came in with a $1,500 buy-in.
She did, in fact.
And she's at $6,700 now?
She did start with $1,500 in chips, absolutely.
And Matt is still Jen's biggest cheerleader over here. And
well,
Jen would be Dr. Abad for those of you keeping track at home.
Let's go, Matt, and you do have an awesome last name, buddy. That is cool.
We do have a Coco's bar downtown in downtown Round Rock.
Okay. I'm in love with the Coco.
Okay, stick with the show me the money. Let's not go with the singing.
Yes, not my strong suit,
Pocket
for
king
sure.
to Charlie. Charlie may actually see a pot here. Does Charlie make the call for 10?
Absolutely.
He does call the 10.
We are finally going to see Charlie in a pot.
Charlie probably should have made a little bit of a move at this pot.
There's a lot of other strong holdings. We got an Ace Jack 10 double suited, or Ace Jack 10 deuce double suited, King Queen 7-3 double suited. That's not that strong of a hand, but it is kind of fool's gold. You do have 2 high flush draws, so if it's a cheap pot, I don't have a problem with someone limping in with that. However, when we start to see these pots get raised, I'd only like to see a few of these hands continue.
Yeah, it's only $50 for Aiden. That's a auto call. You know, he just clicks the auto call button and lets it ride.
Well, guys, we did pass out the beer earlier, and now we've just got informed that in a little bit, the liquor's going to start pouring.
Yeah, and that may mean a little bit looser, a little more talking shit, and can I say shit on the live stream?
I don't see why not. It's YouTube.
Okay.
And as promised, and every poker book, every written, if you have 2 kings, an ace shall cometh forward.
Yeah, I think in that one video they call it the ace magnet, don't they? So.
All right, Billy did post that link. If anyone wants to go check out his Phenom Sons highlights, we recommend you go over and take a look at it. We're talking about touchdowns back from his own end, burning past everybody. It really looks like a high schooler out there playing with elementary kids.
I know, it's like when I played with my son when he was 4, when I played football, and I run down the field, that's kind of what it looks like. This kid is just, like, he's taking 1 step, and these guys are taking 3 and still getting burnt.
Now, did you take it easy on your son, or did you just stiff arm him?
Oh, no, he just ran right over him. But, he's 12 now, and he probably ran right over me now.
And you taught him jiu-jitsu. Probably not the best move for you.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Today's his birthday, so happy birthday, Preston. If you're out there, you should almost be in bed, but I'm just kidding. It's a Friday. But I love you, and happy birthday.
Oh, wow, and look at this hand. We had 3 aces for Clayton, who ended up improving his hand, making the wheel. But as we see, Brutus has stolen this pot, hitting the 7-6 gut shot. He was hoping for that club or that 4, and he got it, and we're going to have a good pot right here, guys.
Yeah, and Brutus probably wants to get a big one there.
And as you see, he separates the 2 cards that he's proud of right there and pushes that 7-6 forward. As you see the new chip count, Dr. Abad hogging the chips, 43% of the chips in play. No one else has more than 16%. Is this ladies' night up here, John, or what?
I think so. I mean, that table is well built, though, because all those chips are going outside, and it's not tilting at all. So that's definitely a good sign of the quality of the table over there.
Would anybody like a shout out? Go ahead, comment in the chat if you want us to shout you out. We'd love to give you some props. We appreciate everyone tuning in and like to encourage that behavior, obviously.
Yeah, definitely a big shout out to any small business owners out there. If you want to plug your business, we would love for you to do that. We're definitely big supporters of community small businesses. So I think we're actually calling them community businesses now instead of small businesses.
Way above my pay grade, John. And if you guys are ever in North Austin, make sure you come see me at Two Below Sports Grill. I'll take good care of you. Another business we can shout out there.
Where's the address there?
12,001 Burnett Road.
Okay, I heard you guys got all-you-can-eat catfish one night?
Thursday night, $9.95, all-you-can-eat catfish, and I actually will issue you the catfish challenge. Go to your favorite place for catfish, eat it, come straight to my place, eat my catfish, boom, you got a new favorite catfish spot.
Hey, the cards are out here. We got Ace 10, King 9. Not much. We've got pocket queens there. Will Charlie make that call, you think?
I'm just getting amazed by this stack Dr. Abad's got over here. She's got the rainbow for sure. As we talked about the rainbow earlier, this is the right kind of rainbow. All the black chips, the green chips, the red chips. It really doesn't matter if you get them all in front of you.
Yeah, I don't think she cares. She'll just take them all. Bob has that Ace King Jack 9 doubles, or I'm sorry, with the King Jack 9 of clubs,
which picks up the double gutter. We do have a flush draw for Simmered Down. He tends to be partial to those kind of hands. We might see him continue.
If this doesn't get too crazy, I could see him going all the way down to the river on this.
Now, what's going to happen when the alcohol starts flowing? Is Simmer Down going to take one of these shots we're hearing about? What's your vote?
I don't think so. I've never seen Simmer Down drink in 2 years of knowing him. He says that he doesn't drink for the benefit of everybody else.
It sounds like we should just let him stand on those words and not die on that hill.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah. And do not adjust your TV sets. Yes, his beard is dyed blue. We have Bob is going to end up winning this one if he can stick around. There are a lot of straight possibilities out there. No flush draw made it. Well, there was a couple options. We'll see if he can hold on to this pot. There is $685, making it worth taking a stab at, and he's going to be the first one to go take a stab. Or no, someone else, Clayton did bet in an attempt to win it, but Bob saw through it and made the call.
I would like to point out that we were supposed to be going till 9 p.m. I think we should go to 10 p.m. This is a great stream, a lot of action. I want to see what she does with all those chips and watch it. Wait, watch your text. Watch. Oh, she slowed down. She doesn't know what she's doing now.
Yes, she knows we're all watching. Oh, chips getting passed across so that the floor doesn't have to run them all the way across. That is not a donation from Bob Stack to another person.
But if you ask Bob nicely enough, he might loan you the money. He's a nice dude over there.
Bob, can I borrow some money?
Ironically, as we look out of the sound booth, he's shaking his head, and obviously we're on a 15-minute delay here, and so he has no idea what we're saying. Just happened to be random that he was shaking his head at the same time you said that.
Yeah, well, he might have just made a donation he doesn't feel good about. But I do want to point out that we have a guy in the chat room now named Kyle Wheeler. Congratulations, Kyle, on having the best name possible.
Wheeler?
Aha, see what you did there.
Wheeler is a pretty cool name. I mean,
Aiden does not seem to be happy with his play right now. He's all heads down. On the other hand, you've got Simmer Down, head up, focused, in tune, looking like a man, being a man, and being a poker prodigy right now, just really eating it up. Whereas we're used to seeing Brutus be the active one dominating these tables in our streams before. Seems like Simmer Down has got the upper hand this time.
Brutus is counting his chips over there, though. He did win some pots.
Clayton hasn't gotten involved in many pots, so he's decided he's just going to play with his chips now and at least get some use out of them.
All right, and as the cards are coming out again, we do want to point out again that if you want to play from home, all you got to do is go into your App Store, Google Play, or Android, App Store, and download the Poker Bros app. You can practice on there, join a club, play for prizes, chips. Sometimes we have satellites into bigger tournaments here. Charlie picks up the double pair, the kings and eights, the king eight double suited, and Dr. Abad will probably like that Jack 9, 7, 6 suited connectors. Simmer Down ends up with 4 diamonds. That's an easy fold. And Aiden makes it 50, it looks like. Aiden made it 45. 45 was the pot bet, so he couldn't make it 50 because of the pot. And Charlie should get in this hand with 2 pair of kings and eights. Kyle just stepped out for a moment, and so it's just me. And it looks like Charlie did check. Flop comes ace, queen, 9. Aiden made it 150 with nothing really. He's at 13%. I imagine Charlie will get scared of that ace and fold. As we welcome Kyle back.
Yes, John came into the booth and handed me a beer. And as the pushover I am and the succumber to peer pressure, I definitely enjoyed said beer. And let's just say the seal is broken.
I just said you stepped out for a minute, so you kind of put the details into that for him. But you did miss Charlie playing a hand. He just bet 285 into it and won the hand with an ace on the board at pocket kings
Wow.
and pocket eights.
He played a hand and people believed that he had something? Obviously, guys, that's an important part of playing poker. You set up an image. People kind of base this image based on how many hands you play an hour. And obviously, we know that he hasn't played very many. The other players are definitely going to assume he has tighter holdings. We'll see if he finds a spot later where he can exploit this image.
As we go to the next hand, you got Charlie in the big blind, so if this checks around, he could actually play another hand. But in PLO, I doubt this is going to check around. What do you think?
Very unlikely. Now, I see we've got another dealer in the box now. She's got a flower behind her ear. Guys, let's see if you know, based on which side that flower is on, is she single or is she taken, guys? Let us know in the chat. Welcome, Chris, to the chat. Nice to see you, buddy. Stick around. We've got some great action going. A lot of mild holdings here by the players. Maybe why we don't see much money introduced into the pot yet. Doesn't mean that we can't get a really good flop and have some good post-flop holdings. This is a post-flop game. However, it is important to take advantage of strong holdings and introduce a little more money, especially when in position, in order to make sure that the pots that you're winning are larger and the pots that your opponents are winning are smaller. That is part of the game.
Hey, Kyle, did you remember to share the live stream on your own newsfeed?
I, in fact, did.
Okay, good.
With 0 likes last time I looked. A little pressure to you guys that are my friends out there that are tuned in. Can a dude get a like?
Wow, brother. No support from your sporting cast, huh?
Not today. And we do have an open-ended straight draw here with a little extra gutter on the top side. And Aiden is holding not much currently other than the top pair of sevens. It is best currently. We'll see if he's able to hold on. It's still a 50-50. A lot of cards to come.
I'd like to welcome Taylor Boyd and Wesley Acuna to the chat, to the live stream. Also, Scott Simpson is watching. Welcome, guys.
Yes. And if you guys haven't been out to Georgetown Poker Club yet, make sure you guys come on by. It's conveniently right off of 35, just down Williams Drive. Once again, come on out. It's a really fun place to play. The dealers are very cordial. Nobody gets abusive or loud or irritated. Really laid back group of guys. Come on out. Enjoy your poker experiences.
Trying to share this live stream in a couple other groups. Let me do this.
Yes, because more people need to see Dr. Abad wrecking all of the other people at the table. Now she's picked up a flush draw to go with her straight draws. We'll see if it's going to hold up in a pot that's already reached 1.2K.
And she's actually the 39%er on this one. Aiden's actually ahead, so at 61%.
He did improve to 2 pair on the turn. However, that heart did also improve Dr. Abad. We've got almost a coin flip, just a little lopsided on Aiden's side. Aiden has been in a lot of pots. He deserves for something to go right. We're going to be okay. Oh, and he is going to put in a big bet. He is all in for 2.1K. Is Dr. Abad willing to risk some of her chips to hit this draw? She's done a good job of holding on to the ones she's got. Is she willing to part ways with some for a chance to scoop even more back?
We added some more people to the stream. We'd like to welcome Pedro, Kyle, and Diego. Welcome to the live stream.
Deep in thought now, it's only 874 to call with 3.9k in the middle. That's his 2.1 is in effect in that pot. But with it 800 to call, it's still 2.8k, or sorry, 1.8k in the middle regardless of his stack, and she has already placed a bet. So that's why you see only 874 more for her to call. This is one of those spots the player at home may be wondering, straight draw, flush draw, not a paired board, not that great of a flush draw. John, what do you think you'd do here if you were in her spot? Not seeing his cards, of course.
At this point, she can afford to make the call. I'd like to see a little bit better of a draw, personally. She doesn't know if her flush draw is any good.
Agreed.
And so she may be discrediting that. Oh, she
Boom.
makes the call.
Regardless, she says, I'm here to take all the chips. It's not a tournament, but it's not fun unless you take them all or try to. So we'll find out what happens here. One card to come will decide all the marbles.
Welcome, Luca, to the live stream.
They are going to run it
They
twice.
run it twice.
The first one is the heart.
Heart hits the first one.
And we can't see the second run out yet. We'll see if any chips move. With a knock from Aiden, I'm going to guess that he pulled out the second one. That looked like a tap of relief. Welcome into the chat, Ed. A lot of action going around this table tonight, guys. We've seen some intense calls, some tough calls. Oh, so it looks like that second river was not, in fact, in Aiden's favor. That tap was not a tap of relief. It was the tap of, man, I have to reach for my wallet now. And out comes the wallet. Some more chips will be headed his way. Once again, would like to remind you guys, go ahead, turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel. You may get to hear us do this all over again some other time. And Aiden's chips, his refill chips, will be on the way. Everyone else seems to be laughs and giggles. Even Charlie. There comes the shots that we talked about. They're all going out while we count the money. Perfect time to stop the game and have a shot. Oh, look at all that cold, hard American cash right there. Some of you may be hearing the sounds in the booth. That is also cold, hard American cash. I think John's trying to see if he has the same amount of hundreds in his billfold as Aiden just dropped out. So that seat might get taken eventually, guys. It sounds like we've got a deliberator over here. Yeah, go ahead in the chat, guys. Press 1 if you think John should jump in on this table. Hit 2 if you think John should sit out and keep me company so that y'all don't just have to hear me talk nonstop.
They may go with the 2.
What is the lesser of the two evils, guys?
Exactly.
You've got to decide for yourself.
I'm not sure I want to sit to Aiden's or to Bob's right.
He is a very good player, and you'd still be a little bit to the right of Dr. Abad, so definitely not the ideal spot. Oh, someone is giving him change. Okay, I thought someone was moving into that other seat, but no, we're just coloring him down so he doesn't have all black chips. The black chips being the $100 chips. The green chips on your screen are worth $25 each. The reds are $5, and the ones are the white chips. Those are pretty much just being used for tipping the dealer. Like we said, whenever you play poker, it's appropriate and important, I combine the words, to make sure you're taking care of the staff. This is how they earn their money. And Clayton has taken off the jacket, That means business, guys. He's got the Houston Astros hat on, so we may hear some drums in the background. I'm not sure.
He may be stealing some signs too. Kyle is also taking off his jacket.
It's strip poker, isn't it?
All right, we got some hands continuing. We have Bob with ace 10, Aiden queen 8 with pocket 5s. Not a lot of good starting hands here. Probably not a lot of action unless we get some cheap hands to see a flop.
Yes, once again, the deck is not doing a good job of helping us out by giving us strong holding hands up against each other. Usually you're going to see quite often someone flops a set, someone else has a wrap, someone has a flush draw. So you usually get three-handed action in PLO. When you're over three-handed, there's some people in the pot that probably shouldn't be. But right now, out of all the hands I see, I'm really liking Drew's hand.
I'm not seeing any comments on whether they want me to play or not, Kyle.
Uh-oh, guys, make sure you get in that chat. Let John know, should he get in there. We do see Clayton has improved to an up and down straight draw and a flush draw. Not a straight flush draw, but he is holding both. He's got a pair. Aiden is holding 2 pair, queens and 8s. Drew has backdoor chance, but really not much of it. So more than likely, Drew's going to duck out, and we're going to have the other 2 players continue. Flush arrives, of course, John. How do you feel about that?
That's a pretty strong hand there with a king high flush. The only thing he would be afraid of at this point would be the ace high flush.
And that's going to take a bet in order for him to doubt his hand now. We do have a bet from Drew. Drew has decided that he will represent the nut flush.
I'd like to welcome Russell and Craig to the live stream.
Welcome in, guys.
And a big shout out to Hello Georgetown. We did get our live stream posted on the Hello Georgetown Facebook page. So welcome anybody that comes to watch from Hello Georgetown from that page. And welcome Sean O'Brien to the live stream.
He must be here to watch Bob or listen to me talk. What up, Sean? Good to see you in here, bud.
I'd like to welcome Mrs. HCC to the chat.
Another shout out. Man, you guys keep coming in here. We're going to keep shouting you out. Good to see you guys in here on behalf of John and I. As you see, that chip count percentage has stayed about the same. Dr. Ahab is quietly growing. And by quietly, I mean you can't hear her fingers when they're typing that fast.
That may be like the speed of sound or something.
The sound barrier's been broken.
Exactly.
We hope Billy's still in here. Billy, say something to us, buddy. Still haven't gotten any votes on whether John should sit down and play. Remember, put 1 in the chat if John should sit on this table. Put 2 if you're happy with him in the booth. Interrupting me from speaking the entire time.
All right, we are back. We just had a special guest in the booth to come tell us about some poker stuff.
Yes, Dr. Abad came in to swear up and down that she has sat on a 125 home game PLO one time, and that this is, in fact, really her first time playing PLO. So, I don't know, guys, what to make of that. But as we check the screen right now, she has flopped top set. She's also holding bottom two pairs, so it's going to be hard for her to boat, but doesn't look like she's up against anything that can draw out on her unless we get a backdoor heart draw. And that hand has ended, and the set is good enough.
I'd like to welcome Richie Boyd to the live stream. Say hi, Richie. That ding was a broadcaster, as a commentator that forgot to put his phone on silence.
But rest assured, the job is done now. Got a little downtime between the hands here. John, we've got a big bracelet event coming up here in Georgetown soon. It's that tag team tournament. You want to shout out those sponsors for that event again?
The sponsors for the tag team tournament, our club sponsor is actually Poker Bros, the Poker Bros app. We definitely encourage you to download that app. You can download it on your tablet, your phone, Android or Apple, doesn't matter. You can play pretty much from anywhere.
But isn't Gumbo's catering it?
Gumbo's is not catering that. The Gumbo's is going to cater the Christmas party. So what we're doing in the month of December is the 12 Gifts of Christmas.
Okay.
So if you play 2 hours anytime in the month of December, you get a ticket into the raffle. On the 23rd, we're doing a Christmas party. We have smart TV gift cards from Simmer Down, Schlotzsky's, also Gumbo's. We have a air fryer, a Keurig, your annual membership, 10 hours that we're just going to raffle off.
And a partridge in a pear tree, huh?
Exactly. And it definitely is not going to be a silent night. We're actually bringing in guest dealers from outside of our club so that our dealers don't have to work that night and they can actually drink on the margarita machine that we're going to have or the free beer that we're going to have that night. So we definitely encourage everybody to come out on the 23rd, play some poker, drink some margaritas, have some Gumbos, and win some prizes.
Sounds like a merry time to me. And which dealers did you find for this? You went to another room, or you just...
We're bringing in some cameos.
Okay, guys, make sure you come out and find out who these mystery dealers
Got Brutus with
are.
Pocket Kings, double suited. Got Ace King with Clayton. He also has that King that's double suited. Or that's suited, I'm sorry. Dr. Abad's going to like that 8-6-6-5.
Especially after a 7-6-5 flop comes
Wow.
out. We do have a 9-8. Drew is holding the nut straight currently, so we do have some people to get involved. Queen 9-9-7 Simmer Down may try to take a turn. I don't see a bottom side straight, a 4-3, a couple fours out there, so we do have some people drawing at the bottom side. We have 8 and 6-4 in there.
Welcome Royce Ann. I guess that's Royce and Ann maybe. Welcome Royce and Ann to the chat, and also Henry Lee.
Royce and Nelson. I believe that's just one name. It's kind of like Ricky Bobby when the guy had two first names.
I don't think so. Royce Ann, is that a shared Facebook or is that a single name? Let us know.
And as
what's going to happen here? These two
hands.
I think she's going to just beat him up again, like she's been doing all night.
Well, she's going to need a little help to get there. A 9 will earn her a tie, and a spade on the turn has now improved her to a flush draw with her open-ender and set. So she's going to need to pair the board or get a spade to earn the win. If she gets a 9, she can get a tie. But as we see, he's holding 2 of them, and one other player had 1. So that would be the case 9 coming out. And this is actually the developing story of a divorce right now. We've got the couple going at it in a pot where both of them like their holdings. Someone's sleeping on the couch later. Let's find out who.
Yeah, you know what they say the number one cause of divorce is?
Money.
Marriage.
Very good. It seems that her steamroll is not over. She has rivered the flush. He shakes his head and knocks the table in disbelief and says, I guess I'm still sleeping on the couch and I lose this pot.
And she smashes yet another one.
And he shows the unfortunate beat to her. And another rebuy is commencing. We're fiddling through some cash out on the table. John has stepped out of the booth again. Let's go ahead and give away some more free hours. Okay, guys? So let me think of a pop quiz question for you. Whoever gets it correct will have a couple free hours waiting for them here at Georgetown, or a day pass, whichever you prefer. Either a day pass to try out Georgetown or 2 free hours to try it out. If you're already a member, I will formulate that question in a few minutes and we'll get going. As you see, we've got a guy working the tablet in the background. That's Harley. Harley has been kind enough to work this tablet instead of taking that empty seat so he could help us keep this action tracked for you guys. That is actually called the Action Tracker. And Richie says, Dr. Abed, I am your biggest fan. And why would she not have fans? Look at that. She's got the yellow chips out there now. Those are the 1K chips. Small fortunes are being made up here in Georgetown Poker Club. Why not you? Come up, sign up to be on one of the next live streams. Maybe you can be the one showing off crushing for all of your friends. Couple good holding hands here. We've got an ace, king, queen, 5. That dangler is suited and connects for a wheel, so that's going to be a really strong hand. Not a lot of other really strong hands out there. The ace, 10, 10, 6 doesn't connect with the nut flush draw for that ace. The 8, 6, 5 deuce is a little too spread out and low for my liking. The queen, jack, 9 might be the next best hand I would want to take to the flop here. And then, of course, we have an all-in from Simmer Down, whose fortunes have drifted away, and he is playing the mystery hand now. So we'll try to see what comes of that. Stick around, guys. Once again, hit the like button, subscribe, make sure you stay connected with all this Georgetown action. And Richie really is her number one fan. If you're in the chat, you see it's all love for Dr. Abed. All right, so the flop has come out. Hasn't really helped many of the players. We've got the 8-6-5 and the 9-6 leading the way. Of course, the ace, king, queen, 5 was more than likely the best starting hand here. It has quickly slipped to the rear. And insert your own joke there. Now we've got Simmer Down's holdings unknown, so we'll see if he can turn over something that tips the scale. I don't see any jack 10s or queen jack 10s. That would be great holdings to have to still draw out on here. And we are now down to the 8-6-5-2. He's going to be looking for a 7 to complete a straight, or hoping that that bottom 2 pair will hold up. We have the cards come out. They're running it twice. And more than likely, with that run out, it's going to spell the end for him. So they ran it twice here, John. Someone else's reload has arrived. Shout out to Pam right there on camera. Pam is a big part of what goes on here at Georgetown Poker Club. She helps organize the contenders. She works shifts here as the manager, as the cage. She does a lot of stuff around here. Big shout out to Pam.
She is the commander-in-chief of the contenders. She runs the show. So I do want to take another plug while we have a second to tomorrow's tag team event. It's going to start at 2 p.m. If you get here early, we can do some racehorses to win some seats, like a $20 racehorse, 10-handed, boom, 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 free seat.
Nice.
If you do a $40 racehorse, 10-handed, you do 2 boards, and we give 2 seats away.
There you go.
So you can turn $40 into 2 seats. So that'd be great. But it is at 2 o'clock, partner event. You and a partner both play a stack at the same time. If you both have a stack when we get to the final table, those stacks will combine.
Oh, wow.
And then you can also rebuy if one of the partners get knocked out during the registration period. And there's also an add-on for a double stack at the break.
Now, if the stack combines, do you still tag team in and out of that stack, or does one player have to be designated to finish that out?
No, at the final table, it's still the sound thing. You play, you hear the sound, you stop, you freeze mid-action. Like, if you're getting ready to make a call, you're like, and then we freeze the action, and your partner comes in. Maybe they're a little bit tighter than you are, and then they fold. So it's interesting. It'll be a really fun tournament. I encourage everybody to come out tomorrow. But the cards are underway again, and let's see what happens.
So, John, what if you're someone like me that doesn't really trust another partner? I mean, you can just show up here and let fate hand you one, right? You don't have to come in with a partner. You can just show up and say, hey, who's my partner?
I understand. I mean, what you're saying is like, so if you're someone that doesn't have friends, yeah, we can find you a partner. And so, and then there's a lot of good players. I know about 2 or 3 that have already talked to me. They're just going to show up and hope they get partnered with somebody. So if you want to come and just jump on a team and see what happens, we do have a lot of good players that come out. So,
all right, we have a Ace King 10 present in this hand, and we've also got a Jack 10-9 double suited.
Oh,
Talk about a real drawing hand.
I love that hand.
Yes, that looks amazing, even on screen. We'll see with that flop. Is not going to do it any favors. The ace quickly comes out. The 4-3 is drawing at the wheel. Jack 10-9 is, of course, the one who got left standing out in the rain with no umbrella.
Did we welcome Scott Simpson to the stream? Welcome Scott Simpson, and then also welcome Ryan Louie, and a big shout out to Richie. He said best commentary of all time.
Well, thank you for that, Richie,
And
because John's been out of the booth for a minute, so I'm going to only assume that is solely meant for me.
He said favorite commentators, so I'm not even drunk yet, so this is actually a pretty good compliment.
Yeah, well, I talk enough for 2 people, so like I said, it could be just for me.
Were you using both of your personalities, or all 3?
You are assuming too much that there's only 2. But one of my personalities wants to take time out to remind you that Jennifer just hopped in the chat to tell everyone that she did in fact deal PLO for a while. So slowly we're getting some confessions that she has a little more knowledge than she let on originally.
She didn't say that she never... She said she never played.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a lie. I mean, a 1-2 home game, that's not really, playing in a casino or playing in a poker room. So, I want to know, Jennifer... I want to know. I'm actually going to type this in the chat. That way, so she can see it, because she's obviously not listening right now because she's playing. Jen, how did you do at that 1-2 home game?
All right, guys, in the chat, if you think she booked a win in that home game, hit 1. If you think she took a loss, hit the 2 button. Oh, and we found where the lucky cigarette went. It's behind the left ear of Charlie. He's holding on to it and waiting to pull it out for the right moment.
Henry Lee said she smacked me. I wonder if that means she took his chips, or knowing Jen, she maybe have actually smacked him.
She might have done both. Oh, we've got some aces back present for Clayton.
We haven't seen aces in a while.
It's been a few hands, yes. We've got King 10-9-8 for Bob. He may want to take a flop with that. None of the other holdings seem too strong, but once again, Aiden wanted to hold on to a mystery hand, and he kicks it in, so it couldn't have been anything that great. We'll see what the flop brings. Once again, this is a post-flop game, but there are definitely reasons to raise pre-flop.
So Henry said both. She took his chips and smacked him. That is just gross.
And it seems to be what she's doing today. So apparently that is her style of play, to smack everyone and take their chips. Flop comes out 9-7-3, improving HCC. Bob has now picked up the open-ended straight draw, hoping that he can outdraw Clayton's aces, but Drew has flopped a set. So we finally got one of those pots we were waiting to see, where someone would have a draw and someone would flop a set, because this is what you see commonly in a real PLO game.
And somehow, Jen managed to not beat in his hand.
Well, apparently 2 9s, there weren't enough available for her to have that, so... And once again, guys, Richie is in that chat with the pom-poms. Feel free to get in the chat and pick your favorite player and cheer him on. We do have a whiff on the turn. We did not connect on that. Any of the draws. Drew actually picks up a flush draw to go with his set, as well as a straight draw. So Bob better get there real quick, and he does not. The board pairs. 7's full. Will he be able to extract any money out of these hands? It's very unlikely, unless Clayton is feeling a little frisky with those aces and wants to pay somebody off. We've got a bet of 250, a little over 50% of the pot. There was 400 X in the pot. We've got a little over a 50% of the pot bet. It's not going to see any action. Everyone's just going to kick him in.
Just toss him in the muck. Live to fight another day, right? So Aiden with 30% of the chips now? Dr. Abad with 26%? I think she's got more than that.
That graphic isn't correct, guys. But we do see that her husband is pulling out more cash. Wonder where he got that from.
I don't know. Those bills look familiar, though.
We did hear someone counting out cash earlier, so maybe we do know.
He may have taken a loan from Dr. Abad.
Possibly. She definitely has some money to loan around. Some people would call her the bank.
I'd like to welcome Chad and Matt to our live stream. Welcome to GPC Live.
I believe my parents were going to tune into this stream tonight, so I'd like to say, hey, Mom, and I hope I'm making you proud. Please ignore my potty mouth.
I'd like to give Matt a shout out. Hey, Matt, I know you just opened your charity gaming room, sweepstakes room in South Austin. Go ahead and shoot up a link to that.
Well, the dealers sure make the money look even cooler than $100 bills already look when they count them out. So, sorry we had to pause the game for a minute to deal with that. We'll also pause for a second so you can look at this beautiful chip stack sitting in the 9 seat. Dr. Abad is growing her garden.
Yeah, she just is smacking everybody, as they said down there.
We saw Russell jump in the chat earlier. I want to give a shout out to Russell.
Russell is a joint chiropractic owner, and if you need a local chiropractor and you're in Georgetown, go see him over at Austin Avenue and Williams Drive.
Really nice guy. He'll take great care of you. Definitely endorse that message.
This could be interesting. There's not a lot of great hands, but there's a lot of hands that can get you in trouble here.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the deck. I don't know if it doesn't like us today or it doesn't want to show its head and the ugly things that it's capable of doing. But we really haven't seen that many train wrecks. A second ago, we got to see the set versus the draw. I'm going to go back and assume that sign language I was getting from Bob earlier was about that hand, as he was shaking his head while he was signing. So we'll see if he's able to turn it around. Someone has got to make a comeback, and we see that Lucky Cigarette has made a comeback.
Yeah, the cigarette went back to the mouth, and the fold still happens. So we got 10 Jack 7 on the flop, Jack 7 with Drew.
Beautiful flop.
Queen 9.
Charlie's
has
the draw.
Open-ended, and he has cards.
And he is in the hand.
Yes, he's in the hand with cards and has the draw.
Small pot, but it's not going to stay that way for long, as we're starting to get some green chips kicked around into the pot. It is only 25 currently, but if someone were to say pot now, that number would jump up dramatically. And there it is. Charlie has the nuts. What will he do, John? What do you think we're going to see here? Is there going to be a bet?
That's a great check move. Aiden does have that flush draw though. That's could be dangerous for him.
as well as also holding the nuts.
Also the nuts. So I see Aiden maybe making a move here to try to build that pot so he can come on the river with a pot bet.
These guys do still need to fear that queen, as Simmer Down is hanging around in there with a smaller stack size, and he does have the ace-king. There we go. Charlie has put multiple chips in the pot.
I'd like to point out that 2 of the queens are also gone there, though, with Aiden and Charlie holding one.
Simmer Down does not know this, and he has a tendency
He may
to
have
stick
known
around.
it. He did fold.
Well, good on him. It was the correct fold. And now the spade makes it to the river. Aiden is not going to have to share this pot with Charlie, and Charlie, as patient as he was not rewarded.
That would be a straight flush, though. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of spades. There's not much that he could lose to there.
We had the false alarm of quads earlier. Good to see this one isn't fake.
Right. It'd be nice if he's hoping somebody's holding that nut flush with that ace of spades, and then he would get paid off. He makes a bet of 625 into it. Charlie, who has the straight,
Cuts out the chips immediately.
he's checking his chips. He looks back at the board.
He said, this cigarette feels lucky now.
He shook his head yes and made the call. Clayton, easy toss, tosses those in the mucks. He says, I have the nuts.
And Charlie can't do anything but nod and say, I see you had the queen 9. Aha, I had that too, but your hand is far better, sir.
Oh, now Richie's telling me to get in there and play, man. I don't know. Kyle may get on y'all's nerves for a little bit. AJ, welcome to the live stream. Matt's sweepstakes room in South Austin. It's Lucky Fortune. You can find it on Facebook. So if you want to go down there and check it, they are open 7 days a week.
And JQ has jumped in there and said, thanks for welcoming me into the chat, guys. Well, you just got back from Vegas. You've had enough fun, sir. Happy birthday.
When was JQ's birthday?
I believe it's still upcoming, but that's what the purpose of the trip was, to celebrate his birthday.
What was last month's trip?
To celebrate life.
We got John Bailey just jumped in the live stream. Bailey knocked me out of this tournament last weekend for 43rd place. It was ace jack shove, and he called me with pocket sixes. His pocket sixes held up. 1,040 players in that tournament, and my friend John Bailey knocked me out. Welcome to the chat, John.
Bailey is the man. On behalf of everyone in the Austin poker community, he is a well-known guy. He's been a dealer in the World Series of Poker. In fact, he actually had a tweet out from Jennifer Tilley, who tweeted out that he was the fastest dealer she's ever seen.
I don't think I've ever seen him deal.
Well, it's fast. That's probably why. You missed it. If you blink, you'll miss it. We'll see if this cigarette can get back lucky for Charlie. He has not been running very well. We've got an ace jack jack 9 present, ace king 10 6 with a suit. Not that many strong holdings. 9 8 7 6 is my favorite hand that I see here right now, John. Do you have one that you're showing a little leniency or tendency to lean towards?
Not really. I think I like that 9876. It's all in a row. You got, suit. I think it has some power. It's going to depend on the flop here. See how many people get in cheap. Bob calls that 4-4-3-2.
Now, I personally would not recommend playing the hands that are that well connected but that low, as they tend to get redrawn out on. Now, he may get smacked by the flop, and it tells a different story, but most of the time, when you make those little hands like that, you still are going to be at high risk to be redrawn out on.
Ross Anderson, welcome to the live stream. Say hi on the chat. This pot is already up to $350 pre-flop, with not a lot of great starting hands.
Well, maybe the flop will help us out. We haven't had that many train wrecks. Let's see if this one will be an exception to our daily rule today.
You mentioned Jennifer Tilley. That's funny. I played with her in, I think, 2008 in a $1,500 WSOP event in Vegas. I sat directly to her right.
Nice. And we've got another one of these situations we talked about. Someone has flopped a set. Someone has flopped a draw. It is on the low side. He's got a bottom side gut shot as well as a flush draw, but it is a straight flush draw. No, it is not. That's a 9 of spades. I immediately am corrected by myself. I apologize, but we do have a set and a two-way draw. Once again, Bob's holdings a little too low for this board. He'll be stepping out of the way, and we'll see if the other two continue and build us a good-sized pot here.
I'd like to welcome the new person that just came to the live stream, but I have no idea what that says.
That is a foreign language for sure.
But welcome anyway.
Once again, guys, if you want to see John hop on this table, say it. It doesn't mean he's going to do it. Just if you want to see it, because we all like to see John lose, right?
We're not even going to go 1 or 2. Just go yes or no.
Should John get on the table?
That seat 6 is looking juicy, though. I might have to go.
It looks like we got a board pair here. We've got jacks full. The only way Drew's going to be able to win this pot is to be able to represent queens full here. Let's see if Aiden, who's does not have the tendency to fold, will find a way to square him out of this one, or he's going to hold on to his victory.
Drew did turn the low straight, though. And so that quickly. Yes, 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 yes.
Everybody wants to see John play.
Sounds like my dates.
Okay.
Well, cheers to that.
Wherever you guys are at, open a beer, have a beer with us.
That's more like it. Dr. Abad with $13,000 after a $1,500 buy-in. So if you're keeping track at home, she bought in for $1,500 and has over $13,000 in front of her.
And claims it's her first time to ever play PLO.
And that's not a bad evening. We started just after 7, so she's been playing less than 3 hours and made over $10,000.
And that's how you beginners luck it. Go ahead, come up here to Georgetown. If you've never played poker, this might be what happens to you.
Probably don't want to jump into this game as a beginner, but those contenders games are great learning experiences and can definitely get you going. And then you can come into our monthly free roll, play those, and just build some experience as a player. And then work your way over to the cash table, play a little 1-2. We have 1-2 open a lot of the times. But I do want to mention this Sunday we're starting for the rest of the football season. We're actually opening at 11 instead of 4. That way we can be open for all the games all day.
That sounds awesome. Nothing like showing up to a game at noon and the game's already started. You've missed your teams playing a little bit. Don't let that happen. Come up here to Georgetown. They've got all the games on the screens that they can handle here. We've got King 10 7-7 double suited coming out. We've got a King Queen 9-7, Queen 8-8-7, little Queen 8 shout out to the professor if he's tuning in.
Simmer Down's going to jump in there with those jacks. If it's cheap, yeah, $20 a call. He makes that call to see if he can catch that jack.
Now, once again, that's not necessarily a very strong holding generally, as his cards are far apart, and it's going to make it harder for him to hit a concentrated portion of the flop. You really want good board coverage with the hands you play. So that King Queen 9-7.
I like that Queen 9-7, absolutely. But like I said, Simmer Down did call that 20 just to see if he can catch a jack.
All right, Deck.
Oh,
what is his fortune?
Whoa, Simmer, time out. Simmer just shoved. Aiden made it 100 with the hand that we liked. Brutus called, and Simmer Down shoved his stack in there for another 223.
Well, I'm going to be predicting that we're just going to get it heads up to Aiden and Simmer Down here, and I feel like Aiden is going to take this one down. That's the way I'm leaning towards right here. He's got the look of, I'm going to play and win this pot.
Aiden makes the call, leaves it to Brutus. I think Brutus may jump in there knowing that Simmer Down's out of chips. Knowing his kids are in bed so that I can tell his wife.
Right. First he's got to scratch his beard. Sometimes when you're facing a decision you don't know what to do, a little scratch will just right the ship.
He makes the call.
3-way to the flop with 2 live bettors.
They are sharing that queen out. And there's that flower again.
Hey, Charlie helped out a little bit. He said, I'm not doing anything today. I'll just help you out.
There you go.
Assistant
dealer. There you go. 694 in the pot. As we go to the flop, we have 6-6 ace. Nobody holds that ace. And
yes, the jack's becoming very powerful now.
But those two diamonds out there, that queen 8, Brutus probably likes that flop.
And with a paired board, they'll both check very quickly. Brutus improves to up and down straight draw as well. And of course, no help, but he does river the queen. But Aiden's queen is going to be the better one.
Better. Wow.
And just like I predicted, Aiden wins the pot.
Yes, he did. And that was...
And look at him. Look at all the joy on his face of, hey, I just won this pot after I've been losing a bunch of pots.
He looked like he was about to do a cartwheel.
Yeah, almost. You could see it was almost there.
So if you are... So Richie said, I would have no self-confidence if I was sitting next to Jen. Yeah, you may be feeling a little inadequate there.
And Jason seems to be thinking that is a World Series of Poker bracelet on Dr. Apad's left hand that she won in the PLO event.
Yeah, I can see it from here, from the RGS United Studio sound booth, that is a watch.
Yes. Yes, Jason, it's just a watch. It is a Timex bracelet.
So, does anybody have any questions in the chat? We are watching you in the on the live stream chat on our Facebook page. So, feel free to ask questions.
Ball help. Oh, look, she's telling them how she's taking their chips. She's giving them the play-by-play handbook of how she's done it so far. See?
And not to mention, they can go back and watch the play-by-play of how she took their chips.
Clayton has been quiet for a while. Let's see if the guy with the lucky red shirt gets in there. Let's see if Charlie finds a way for that lucky cigarette to help him out. And can Drew find a way to win a pot off his wife so that he has to sleep on the couch tonight?
I don't think he'd have to sleep on the couch because she's up to 13K. And there are the cards. We have 8-6-5-5. That may be a nice hand with ace-jack suited, 8-6. There's a pocket jacks for Drew. He may get away from that, or he may feel desperate and try to get in there.
Richie had a question in the chat, and the answer, Richie, is if you are of 21 years of age, yes, you're more than welcome to come up here and have a beer with us. It is a BYOB establishment, so you bring your own beer, but anyone who is 21 or up is more than welcome to enjoy a nice cold one in here.
Hey, I brought a couple extras, so Richie, if you want to come up, if you're 21 and come in and have a beer, you're welcome to come on in, bud. We'll even bring you in the sound booth.
And he says he is in fact 22, so barely made it. We'll have to check that ID though, probably. But
yeah, the guy at the front door with the taser will check it. But come on in, Richie. We're here for you.
And we've picked up a nut flush draw for Aiden. Aiden has had plenty of reasons to be in a lot of these pots, as he has been connecting, not as well as Dr. Ahab, but a close second.
So once again, I would like to mention that this is our first live commentary for the GPC Live's poker stream. So, once again, bear with us, but if you want to participate and ask questions, we would love to have you involved. And Kyle says, yeah.
I'm a man of many words sometimes.
He was quiet for 10 seconds. I got scared. I thought he was choking or something.
And there you see the chip counts reflect on the screen again. Dr. Abad hogging 41% of the chips in play. It's really not fair. Look, Pam has seen the ladies doing well on the table. She thought about sitting down for a second, but it looks like Simmer Down has made his exit.
He is checked out. He played quite a bit. He got up to a pretty decent sized stack, and then he took a couple beats and made his exit.
He did set the over-under at one hand, so he way hit the over today.
Oh, yeah,
Congrats on that, Simmer Down.
He got to almost 3 hours of play, and then that's way more than one hand. So for those of you that bet the over, you can go to your bookie and get paid.
And as you see, the screen pops up a whole bunch of garbage. The deck really doesn't want to help us out today with any pre-flop starting hands. We've barely got to see any. We had the Jack 10-9 double suited earlier. Hopefully this won't continue, or at least we'll get some train wrecks post-flop.
I saw Aiden's ace queen suited, and then, as you say, it was train wreck, and I was like, oh wait, the 6 and 3 are also the same suit.
Starting 4 flush before you see a flop is not ideal.
Was that all clubs? No, it wasn't. I was like, wait, that would have been funny.
So, like we said, not very many strong holdings here. There's not anyone really holding on to any powerful draws here. A rather meaningless hand in the sea of not much action today, but stay tuned because things can change really, really quick in PLO. The deck can get hot. We've seen one seat be mostly hot here today, but stick around. Something big is brewing.
Yeah, I think that big hand that we've been waiting for is coming up soon. Maybe those shots are about to kick in.
Yeah, it's about time for those shots to kick in. I've been thinking of another trivia question. John, last time you left the booth, I promised we'd give away 2 more free hours to somebody. So, like I said, I'm really good at giving away your money, so I don't mind doing a second round. Anyone in the chat want to suggest a question that you don't have the answer to? Then we may listen. Other than that, it'll be left up to John's and I discretion to come up with a question. I think I've got a good one. John and Georgetown Poker Club have been doing these bracelet events. Who, if you followed the social media around here, won the very first bracelet event at Georgetown Poker Club? Answer in the comments with your answer. The first one to get the correct answer of who the first bracelet winner was, you're going to win 2 free hours on John. Because I said so.
And it was not somebody sitting in this booth. I'm going to win mine tomorrow.
All right. You've got a hint already, guys. If you want it to be you, there is a ring event tomorrow. And look, we've got some aces out in the field again.
Another aces, the King 4 suited. Pocket jacks. Not much to go with it. So the basis behind the bracelet events, once we have 9 unique winners, we're going to do a Tournament of Champions. So those are silver bracelets. We're going to do a Tournament of Champions for a gold bracelet. And it'll be one person that has the gold bracelet from Georgetown.
Ooh, a gold. Everyone's been winning silver bracelets, but someone can be the gold bracelet holder.
Absolutely.
And
hey, Tyler, welcome to the chat. Tyler, welcome to the chat. Once we have 9 individual unique winners, so if somebody wins 2 bracelets, we're going to have to go an extra month to get that other extra silver bracelet winner. And then we'll do a live stream Tournament of Champions for the gold bracelet.
Okay. Well, it sounds like I better get up here and win a silver bracelet. Because I'd love to be in that.
Billy Westfall, welcome back to the chat.
And the aces somehow flop top set. How rare that is. Queen Jack over here for Bob, so hopefully he'll be able to pull out a 10. If not, he's going to need a lot of help.
Also grabbed himself the nut flush draw. He pretty much has a solid hand at 93%.
He's got a lock on this pot for sure. It is going to take the next closest thing to a miracle here.
I think he's drawing to a 10. I think Bob's drawing to a 10.
And he doesn't care. He will fast call, as he has picked up the queen high flush draw. So a club could spell danger, Robinson.
And this may be what he was shaking his head about earlier.
Will the club get there?
No, a 2 of hearts gives Bob the nut
full house.
Full house.
And nothing. So Bob is probably going to get away from this hand very easily.
I'm sorry, it gives Aiden the nut full house. I said Bob.
Bob's going to leave. Brutus is there rubbing his chin, still hoping on some better holdings. In Hold'em, you can find him opening a lot of pots. Apparently in PLO, with this stakes, he's going to remain a little tighter to the vest.
All right, guys, we are after 10 o'clock. We said we were going to go to 9. We went to 10. We're going to run about 2 more hands, and we're going to call this. We're going to wrap this up tonight. So if you have any other questions, do me a favor, like the stream, like the Georgetown Poker page, share the stream on your page. We love any sharing, comments, any love y'all can give us.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. On behalf of me and me some more, thank you guys for listening. I'm sure John has enjoyed y'all being in here a little bit. It's been great to see a bunch of my friends in the chat room. Sean, Bailey.
Wait, hold on. We have a winner. Tyler said Herman won the first bracelet. That is actually correct.
There we go, Tyler. You got a couple free hours waiting on you down here at Georgetown Poker Club.
James, welcome to the chat. This could be a money hand here, though. We got an ace queen, ace jack 9-8, ace king king 3, 10-9-8.
King jack 9 with a suit. John, tell the people, if they want to get on this live stream next time you do it, how do they do that? What's the process they need to go through to let you know, hey, I want to come be on one of those?
Guys, if you want to be on our live stream, we post on our Facebook when we're getting ready to have a live stream. It's not always these high stakes. We had a lot of players that wanted to play these. Or you can get on our our text list. Text the word poker to 2626 10 2626. That was 2626 10 2626. So text the word poker to that. You'll jump on the chat. You'll jump on the text list and you'll get our text. Billy has a question. He says, quick question. How does a new player sign up in Poker Bros? I have someone who wants to. So, Billy, if you know somebody that's playing today or know one of the commentators, they have multiple clubs. Talk to them. They can give you the club to join, and they can get you in the club. We have union hosts here today. We have multiple people that have their own clubs, and so if one of the players that are one of the people watching today wants to get on Poker Bros and get in their club, go ahead and talk to them, and they'll give you their club number, and you can join their club.
Well, Charlie's going to lay down a wrap here. I don't know if Charlie knew how good his holdings were, but he had a King Jack 9-8 wrap.
Oh, wow.
So once again, guys, when you flop what looks like a straight, but you don't have a straight because you have to play 2 from your hand and 3 from the board, that's actually called a wrap when 3 of your cards are playing with 2 cards on the board. And that is a good hand. That is a good draw. That's about the same number of outs or more than a flush draw in a lot of cases. Now, there were 2 of a suit out there, so I can understand why he would play a little tighter in that spot, but that's one of those hands you're looking to make in PLO.
So we're going to go ahead and do this hand, and we'll go ahead and stop you all from watching the doc take her husband's chips and give him some humility here. This will be the last hand of our live stream, and once again, we appreciate everybody for coming out and watching. We appreciate for everybody for coming out and playing. We hope that you enjoyed this, enjoyed the commentary, and we are to the hands. The doc drops pocket kings with a jack 9 suited. I'm loving that hand.
Why would we close the show any other way with her continuing to smack people around? Of course she's going to find a way to do it. Welcome and thanks for tuning in to the Dr. Abad Show.
And so she made it 100 to call. Actually, wait. No, Brutus made it 105.
He must have known this was the last hand of the night.
She made it 480 or 180.
Nice.
So Drew needs 170 to call from the big blind.
And I see Aiden making a call here with that ace, queen, jack 4. He's been very active, and with 3 Broadway cards connected, we're more than likely going to see him play a little. I would imagine the other hands will duck out the way. Bob's probably going to duck out with that 10-8-8-3. Brutus may stick around with the 10-8-6-5. It's a little clumped together, not as much as I would usually like.
He was the initial better, though. It's only 75 more for him to call.
And he's grabbed a bunch of chips. I don't know if he's just going to shuffle those or he's contemplating playing really aggressive here, but we are already to a flop.
He did call.
And we have a low paired board, which is going to leave those kings. in command of this hand, Dr. Abed. Definitely want to close the show the same way we opened it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But Brutus does have the gut shot straight there. And then, obviously, Abad with the kings, but also has a flush draw.
Let me give you guys some PLO advice. If you guys are sitting there and the number of outs are the number of outs you would have in Hold'em when you're playing PLO, find yourself another spot. Because the reason that you get these extra cards is that you can end up with hands that have more outs than you can usually have in Texas Hold'em. So if you're playing gut shots only as your only draw in PLO, you're going to find yourself on the losing end more than you're going to find yourself on the winning end.
I'd like to welcome Anthony to the last hand of our chat of our live stream today.
Welcome in, Anthony.
Dr. Abad made that $400 bet. Aiden raised a 1.4K.
But the quick call.
So Abad makes the call. And what do we get on the flop? We got on the river a 5.
And he has actually turned the wheel. He's taken the lead. The miracle card has come. Dr. Abad has run so great. Would you be willing to say that another 3 is going to come out and steal the victory back for her? Or that king? Or will Aiden finally have someone put a chink in that armor?
I think the flush hits, actually. She just needs that clubby for the flush. She's got a lot of outs here.
On a paired board, though, you wouldn't be liking
Right.
these hands. Neither one of these guys should be just willing to get it all
Remember,
in
this
right
is her
away.
first time.
Yes.
But then this pot's also $3,500 already.
She had 13.5K, but if she loses this pot, look, she's still sitting on 11.4 from a 1,500 buy-in.
She jumps
no matter
in,
what, great
she
job
jumps
to
in there
her.
right now. This may be the first time we've used yellow chips at Georgetown Poker Club.
Well, congrats, John.
The 10 of spades, she misses.
Will she find a way to still bluff him out, or will Aiden know that that wheel is still the best hand? Stay tuned to find out. John's getting ready to cue up the ending of the stream for us, guys. All this drama, what's going to happen? He is now all in for 2.6K. Is she feeling like giving some charity back to the table, or does she want to end the stream with a great play and lay this hand down? All she has is kings and 3s. There's a paired board and a straight possibility. This is where great players can find a fold. She's played great all day. Will she find this last great fold?
Welcome Diana to the last hand of our live stream. As we see if Dr. Abad can make the right move here.
Let us know real quick in the chat, guys, since this is the last chance y'all get to vote. Put a 1 if you think she's going to call and make the payoff. 2 if she's going to make the great laydown. And we appreciate all those likes, guys. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Better hurry and get your vote in. Looks like the decision is imminent.
And she lays it down. What a great laydown.
What a great way to end the show, John.
Yeah, absolutely. She makes a great move as she builds
Bob
that big
said he
stack.
would have snap called. He threw chips in the pot. Bob, those chips would have been gone, bud. You did great being out of it.
All right, guys. Hey, we once again, Georgetown Poker Club and GPC Live. Thanks everybody for coming out. I'm John Montgomery.
And I'm Kyle Thompson.
Have a great weekend.
See you guys.